1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3 on the live stream. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. Testing 1, 2, 3. We'll be starting in about 10 minutes. The live stream will be starting in about 10 minutes. Anybody that's listening. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You got me? Alright, I can turn it all the way up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. That is all the way up. That's probably all they do. Alright, perfect.
Good morning here from Columbus, Georgia, here on Day 2, World Cup 2 of the 2022 ICF World Cup Freestyle World Cup, Freestyle World Cups here. We are on a 10-minute delay. Right now it is local time 8:11. We were supposed to start at 8:15. We will delay that until 8:25. The reason being that the pool below the feature has not stabilized, so the feature is changing. When this water comes on, it does take a while to stabilize, and that's just the way it is. We're fine with that. We can delay a little bit and still roll forward. The last heat is a heat of 4, so if we bleed, last 2 heats are heats of 4, so if we bleed a little bit into those heats, it'll be just fine. We do expect second heat to start at 9 o'clock sharp. So we're going to begin the women's preliminaries here in a few minutes, so stick around for the start of women's preliminaries 2022 ICF World Cup Freestyle here in Columbus, Georgia. So today we are going to be seeing the first heat from Japan, Hitomi Takaku. From Canada, Savannah, westeinde. Jesse Stone from the United States, Heidi Walsh from Great Britain, and Darby McAdams from the U.S. As we've seen in this competition, a lot of competitors from the United States, a fair bit from Canada, and several actually from Great Britain. In this round, we will have 1, 2, 3 paddlers from Great Britain. We will have from Canada 2 paddlers. Looks like 8 from the United States. 1 from Ireland. 1 from Japan. 1 from Poland. And 1 from New Zealand. The estimable Courtney Kieran, who has been a mainstay of a lot of these freestyles, along with Poland's Zosia Tula. This is going to be a great event. Again, we are on a delay, so if you're just joining us, just tuning in, it is 8:14 local time. We're going to wait until 8:25, so we're 10 minutes on delay for the start of this women's preliminaries. So this morning's competitors, Hitomi Takaku, she already has a silver medal in this competition, having taken a silver medal in the World Cup #1. She also has a silver medal, I believe, in the squirt competition, so she's taking medals left and right for Japan. Japan's Nanase as well have medaled in the junior men's, and he's a favorite as well. So the Japanese have brought a really solid team here. They have some of their members in the men's quarterfinals. So we are looking forward to great things from Hitomi, always a wonderful mainstay on this circuit. Savannah from Canada, she is really known as a wave paddler, being up there in those big waves in Canada. This is her first Worlds events, though, as a senior. She was the 2016 junior national champion, although she does qualify that as she was the only junior. That doesn't matter. She came, she competed. That's what's important in these events. She is a current senior in college, kayak instructor as well, and really contributing here to our commentating. And she would like everyone to know that she does love dark chocolate, but it needs to be dairy-free. Luke Pomeroy of Canada on this men's class acts as her coach. And we'll go from one of the younger competitors to one of our more senior competitors who runs a clinic in Uganda all the way into Canada, into Africa. She is Dr. Jessie Stone. She's been competing over 20 years here, so she has competed in a lot. She was 19th in the World Championships in Nottingham, England earlier this summer. And she was the second in the Masters class at the same, so they held a new Masters class. They competed at 3 different features, 3 different competitions. The clinic she has is called Soft Power Health. And she's been a 6-time member of the U.S. women's freestyle team as well. Her favorite place, of course, is on the Nile there, and also in Sullivan Falls, Maine. Pretty awesome. Coaches include EJ, Emily, Nick, and at this event, Bartosz, our Polish paddler, Polish coach extraordinaire, is helping her out. Next up is going to be Heidi Walsh of Canada, or of Great Britain. Heidi, an all-around boater. She just competed in the Utz Trophy in Austria, taking 8th place there. 11th in Europeans for the Freestyle Championships. She's been 6 years on the Great Britain team for freestyle. Previous Worlds this year in Nottingham was 12th place. She is looking to up that. And she travels all over the place. She will be off to Nepal after this to go kayaking. She kayaks in Chile, Norway, and Canada. She doesn't have a coach. She is self-coached, sponsored by Palm, VE, and New Mission. And the last one in this heat to go here in just a few minutes will be Darby McAdams. Darby McAdams has been a U.S. freestyle athlete for some time as well. She grew up on the Clark Fork River in Missoula, Montana, and so she's been paddling from a very young age. There's a feature just by her house that she can surf. She also was one of our world-class academy athletes, where they go and do high school all over the world. Darby has represented the United States as well in world competitions, including a medalist at the North Fork Championships, largely seen as one of the most prestigious and difficult creek races that there is today. So we're going to look for these women to start up here shortly. We have about a 5-minute time before they take the feature. This water is provided by Georgia Power, the Georgia Power plant just upstream by 2 miles, or about 3 kilometers. They're pulling 3 gens of power, or 9,000 cubic feet per second. And so what that means is when they turn the water on, it takes a while for it to stabilize, and particularly fill up this giant pool downstream of the feature. This is sort of the bottom of the Whitewater Park. Huge rapid here, lots of rocky islands, and once the water makes its way around these islands, it starts to fill in the pool, and once the pool comes up, it stabilizes the wave. So we're waiting for that. We're just about 5 minutes out for that, when we see Hitomi Takaku come and throw down her first ride. Just after that, we'll roll right into the junior women's. we'll have one heat of junior women's. And then into the men's canoe MC or men's C1 preliminaries. We'll have some preliminaries today. We'll have men's quarterfinals at the end of the day. There we go, live stream now. We can see that feature that we're going to be competing on underneath the graphic there. It's called Good Wave, and it's in at various levels. If you're here when the water's off, it doesn't even look like anything. Just upstream is something called Wave Shaper, which is a engineered man-made feature that changes the way the water flows to form this particular wave. And they call the island Wave Shaper Island in tribute to that feature. It's going to be a nice day today. Yesterday was quite warm, should be a little cooler today. So here in Columbus, Georgia, here on the Chattahoochee River. But a wonderful competition so far. We had the squirt competition 2 days ago, just on the other side of the river, on the Phoenix City side. So Columbus, Georgia is on the Georgia side, Phoenix City on the Alabama side. This river is the border between the two. The wintering grounds, where a lot of paddlers and athletes stay, is over on the Phoenix City side. Just a short walk, or one wheel, or a bicycle across the footbridge. Is a pedestrian footbridge down onto the river path, and you are right here. As a matter of fact, they can put in over there and just paddle on down. It's really quite nice. And then they can paddle across at the end of the day and just walk up the path as well. So again, we're just getting started here. It's going to be a good time. Next up, after this heat, we're going to see Miki Sato from Japan, Rachel Sheffy from the United States, Zofia Tula from Poland, Emily Jackson from the U.S., and then Maya Ray Cross, or Maya, from Great Britain. Following that will be Allie Davis, U.S., Courtney Kieran, New Zealand, Anais O'Donovan from Ireland, and Anna Bruno from the United States. Anna will be assisting us here in the live stream later on. Then the last heat of women's going at 10:30 local time. We are in the Eastern Time Zone. Lauren Bird of the U.S., Audie Robinson-Shaw of Great Britain, your current world champion and champion of the first World Cup. Abby Holcomb from the U.S. and Alex Maggs of Canada. And again, we're just about 2 minutes out from this World Cup. Down here in the arena, we got Stephen Wright and Clay Wright commentating locally. Those gentlemen are competing in the men's class. I believe Stephen Wright qualified into the men's quarterfinals. We'll see him later this afternoon. And I see all the athletes down there getting ready. I believe we are going to go ahead with this start. I see Hitomi Takaku in the eddy. Fortunately, we don't have a camera shot of that, but that's okay. We will see her come down here shortly into the feature. Japan brought about 7 athletes to this event. That's quite a lot, given that they have to travel quite a ways, and many of these team members already competed in world championships in Nottingham. A lot of travel for this team, but they are happy to come here. Wonderful stewards of this sport, the greatest sportsmanship of all. These guys are just enjoyable to be around. As I'm looking for the thumbs up, we're just about a minute out before Hitomi takes her ride. These are 45-second rides. They will have 4 rides. This is a non-attainable feature. And because of that, they get 2 extra rides, whereas normal attainable feature preliminaries would be 2 rides. We're going to take 2 of those rides, the 2 highest scores, add them together, and that will be their final score that will situate them into semifinals. There will be no quarterfinals for this class. And Hitomi has the thumbs up. She is now paddling in, as you can see her on this. Here comes Hitomi on down into the feature, establishing her ride. I saw her practicing this morning. She was doing really well, going in for that nice left blunt with air. in this sharp, giggy prod carbon boat. You can put a lot of speed into these carbon hulls. Popping around for that right blunt to the set down some points. As you watch those score, you can see it tick up. She thought she didn't get enough points on that, so she came back in for that right blunt. It has to be a 45-degree angle on that boat from tip to tail, spinning around. She is just trying to establish something new, maybe going in for a back blunt here. Misses that pass. She's got just about 9 seconds left. Nice. Now that was a huge blunt. Possible Pan Am if she got 90 degrees. Going for that back blunt to the left. And there she is. She's going to lay down that first ride. Getting up there into the 100-point range for Hitomi Takaku of Japan. And we watch the replay here. She established a bit. Now when I say the blunt, it's that bow has to drop down and the stern has to come up at a 45-degree angle. And then they rotate into a back surf. So there is the bow to stern. That looked like about 35, 40 degrees to me. The judges make that decision. They're bringing the scores up. As she comes around here for this right attempt now. And there you go. That was about a 30-degree angle on that. So she comes back and does it again. The blunt's a mainstay of the wave boating when you can push that into 90 degrees. That was clearly 45 on that one. When pushing into 90 degrees, you get into the Pan Am range. So they're going to settle out her score while we look for Savannah. Savannah going to come in here from Canada. She's helping us out as well in the commentating. She and Courtney Kieran are just killing it. So if you get a chance to come down here and listen to them announce for the men's, just makes it so fun. She is also a resident of a van down by the river, likes to travel around. Apparently trying to take up sewing. And her favorite place is Push Button on the Ottawa River, which is a feature very similar to what we competed on in World Cup 1 in the ambush wave upstream of here. This one, much more similar to something like Garburator. As you watch this feature change, you can see that foam pile work way to the top. All right, there we go. We got a score for Hitomi. If you want to take a look at the live feed, go to canoeicf.com. You can navigate into live results and watch these scores tick up and paddlers situate their places as we watch Savannah now take the feature. She is a powerhouse on these waves. Anyone who's in the Ottawa Valley who learns to paddle there just learns to love these waves. She's going to back it in, looking maybe for a back roundhouse or back blunt. She's laying down points straight away. Looks like they're giving her a little bit of a roundhouse there. And there's a right blunt. If she gets that boat, over into that flushy spot, that surfer's left or river right pocket will take a boater right off. This is why we have the 4-ride format, to give him plenty of chances to put together 2 solid rides. You can see Hitomi's score there settling around at 145 points. While we wait for Savannah's score to come in. So yeah, go to canoeicf.com. You'll navigate to the live results, and you can watch these scores come in. They're going to settle out Savannah at 63.3. She'll slot into the second place. They all have 4 rides, 2 rides count, so there's no way of telling where they're going to situate here because there's ample time for them to increase these scores. Now we have Dr. Jessie Stone. Jessie Stone coming out here and representing the United States for years. She is such a great competitor. And she gets to paddle waves all the time there in those big waves in Africa on the Nile River, where she runs a clinic. They see several tens of thousands of patients a year. There's a roundhouse to the right. And it was all due to a kayaking trip that she got there Somebody got malaria. She realized there was a need for this and opened a clinic in Africa. Just a wonderful story. And as a result, she also gets to kayak some of the world's greatest water there. Unfortunately, some of that water is disappearing due to hydro dam projects. This is the sad reality of whitewater all over the world being consumed by energy needs for people all over the world. So full 45-second ride for Jessie. Just comes around with a spin and a roundhouse. Now she has to fight herself off this wave. It's kind of crazy how flushy it can be, but also it can kind of hold you on there if you're not careful. She gets caught in that pocket there. Does flush off the back, no problem for Jessie Stone. While we now get the thumbs up for Heidi Walsh of Great Britain. Heidi Walsh represents Great Britain. She was in the former World Championships as she takes her place on this wave. She also is starting to paddle huge water all over the world, big creek boater. Heidi can throw down some big moves as she goes in for that blunt to the right, straight off the bat. She is in that electric lemonade colored kayak from Jackson Kayaks. I like to say that because I made up the color. Not the color, but the name. All right, so she's hunting around. She spent a year in Colorado going to school there and paddling the rivers. A little bit of a right roundhouse there, putting his points down. Right now 145, holding down the top spot, but that is not going to sit there. That score is going to go up as she spins around to the left. Oh, and catches that bubble. And that's going to be Heidi's first ride. While we roll right into Darby McAdams next. Everyone's been out here training, but unfortunately this feature has not been at this level because while the first competition was going on, they required 2 gens of water. And this feature at 2 gens is very different. You can paddle it, you can surf it, but it's not something they can really train too reliably. So they got some training time though, got it lined up, and here we go with Darby McAdams. Beautiful left blunt with huge air. I would not doubt if they gave her the huge modifier on that as she spins around again. Little back blunt to the right there, backing it up, trying to back blunt to the right again. I don't know if she thought maybe she only got a roundhouse on that, or maybe she's just going for something a little bigger. But she's definitely looking to set up this back pass. Not getting the foam pile she wants. There, pop, there it is, back blunt to the right, getting that bow way and high. Over 45 degrees for sure. Was it 90? This is what the judges have to determine. They just about 10 seconds left. This ride goes forever as she's trying for that left blunt now. Catching a little stern, still in the foam pile with 2 seconds left, but she is going to flush. However, she is throwing down a very big ride right now. This replay is going to be really fun to watch. Darby McAdams, a medalist in the North Fork Championship. I believe she got silver this year. Look at that. That probably was a Pan Am. She got that boat completely vertical in the air. It has to be 90 degrees or better. Beautiful way to start this ride for Darby McAdams of the United States. Look at that, her score is ticking up. They go back and the judges add, was that huge? Was there air under the boat? Not all of these maneuvers require air screw being one of them. So right there you can see that was one of her less technical roundhouses, and the boat really didn't get off of the water. That first one, though, you saw there was complete air under the boat. You can get the air bonus. You can get the huge bonus. Adds another 20, 30, 40 points. But now, right up to the top, Hitomi Takaku. We are going to push him through a little faster than normal, given that we started 10 minutes late. But that's okay. These paddlers have plenty of time to get back out of the water and onto the wave. Hitomi right now, one ride score of 145. She's going to pull a nice big blunt to the right. Blunt back to the left, putting points down. Now really racking up the points a lot faster than her first ride. Setting up more on the surfer's right side this time. Hitomi hunting around. They'll put their boat just a little bit sideways to ride up on the feature, but they got to be careful so they don't flush off. And depending on which direction they want to go, they might set up on one side versus the other. That was a beautiful Pan Am. You saw her tuck her knees up and pull that bow under to put that boat into that 90-degree line. Beautiful blunt back to the left. Another front blunt to the left, so she's got her backs. And on the buzzer, an air screw attempt. I can hear the buzzer. I know you guys can't hear it through the live stream. You have to watch that tick down. If they initiate on the buzzer, they have the opportunity to score that ride. However, she did flush on that. But 295 points showing, threatening Darby McAdams now. 305 points. She is up there equaling Darby's ride, going ahead of Darby's ride now. We will see where this score settles as we watch this replay here. We're looking for that giant Pan Am she threw. Pulled that boat underneath. Such a nice execution there. Here's that big back blunt she's going to throw. Oh, that might have even been a back Pan Am. That boat comes completely to 12 o'clock. This is where the judges just have such a hard time cut out for them. They're throwing these moves so big, and that air screw right there, you can see she comes down right on that green water, pops up over the bubble. That might have counted actually as a donkey flip. The air screw has to come down pointing upstream of where you initiated, within 20 degrees on either side. However, if you come down a little sideways, you can be scored a lower move called a donkey flip, showing 335 points. Hitomi is now bringing a score to equal and better Darby's first ride. We still have one more ride left from this to put everyone's second rides down, and we'll do this 2 more times for this heat here at the 2022 World Cup number 2 on Good Wave. All right, Savannah taking the feature there, popping in nicely, setting up some points straight away. Savannah's one of these paddlers balancing school, travel, kayaking, life in general. And it's great they make the time to come down here all the way to the southern United States from Canada. This is not a short drive. Popping around to the right. I'm not sure if they drove down or if they flew. We have this great campground down here called the Wintering Grounds that kayakers like Savannah can come down to. She actually came down during the pandemic when school went online and said, I'm just going to winter out in Georgia. I'm going to kayak every day. I'm going to social distance and do school online. And took full advantage of that. So that's going to bring up Savannah's third ride. Or excuse me, this is her second ride. Going to add 25 points to her score. Just 25 points for that ride. Again, 2 more chances to get plenty of points. As we see now Ms. Dr. Jessie Stone. It's always nice to have Jessie around. You know, if you sprain your ankle, she'll say, well, you sprained your ankle. There's nothing I can do about it. But you feel better because the doctor told you. And Dr. Jessie Stone popping around to the right. Spinning around to the right. We actually had this wonderful discussion the other night about concussion treatment and the new science coming out of that. Concussions are an issue in kayaking. We wear those helmets. And there's some wonderful treatments coming out now that people are talking about, and it's kind of cool to talk to doctors. We have a few doctors in our community. Oh, right back blunt, flushes are off the wave. We have another doctor in training in our judging corps, Chelsea Poffenberger, and it is really cool to have these individuals come and really give us some wonderful health information. And if you do get into an issue on the river, they can render assistance most of the time, although hopefully it's only something like a sprained ankle where they say, put some ice on it, stop complaining. Stop complaining, Hoj. That's what they tell me. So right now, Jessie putting 71 points down. It's definitely improved her ride score. We're going to take 10 of these women into the semifinal round. So she has 2 more rides after this to put down some high points. Running up to 80 now. Jessie doing so good here on these waves. 105 points combined, and that's going to take us now to Ms. Heidi Walsh of Great Britain. Heidi, after this, is going to travel to Nepal to go to these giant Himalayan rivers, just making the most of her kayaking life. It is so fun. to hear where these people go and paddle all over the world. Heidi also in this electric lemonade kayak. It's actually called the Northern Lights, but I'm going to call it electric lemonade. Hunting around. This is one of the palm kayakers in that beautiful palm top she's wearing. The UK team uniform there in a nice right blunt. Putting air into the boat, fighting back over that bubble, maintaining. Just watch the concentration on their face, and they're spotting where they're going to go next. These paddlers just put on such a great show, and the technicality they put, even maintaining their position on the feature, is an expert level job for them. It's not just something that you go down and surf or wave in a front surf on these. Popping around, roundhouse is both to the right, back roundhouse left, looking for the air screw. I haven't seen her do one of those yet, looking really nice. She may have even got a donkey flip on that. I'm not sure if she came down straight. The points are going up. Looking really good. Her time has expired. She's going to come off. It looks like they may have awarded her the air screw. Great job for Heidi Walsh. She is currently sitting in the 5th place spot with 41 points. This will combine to put her over 200 and bump her into the 3rd place spot as we watch the replay here. Looking for that air screw at the end. They gave her points for that. Wonderful job for Heidi Walsh of Great Britain. 2 more rides for her. This was just that aerial roundhouse to the front, back roundhouse to the right, and now we see Darby McAdams shooting onto the feature. She is already in 2nd place with 1 ride, so she is looking to put some big points here in that carbon giggy. These carbon boats making a wonderful boat for this kind of feature, because you can need a lot of speed and velocity as they drive down what they call a pass. As they come to the top, you'll see her set up for a pass to pop onto the green water. Oh, and unfortunately catches an edge. Beautiful recovery. That is the kind of edge catch that would trash so many boaters, and Darby comes up like it's nobody's business. There's that left blunt, coming with the right roundhouse. She's finally settled in. She's got a few seconds left. She can still put points on the board. These points will count initially. There's that right blunt to the back. Just 1 second left. She's looking at the clock. She's not going to pull any more points out, but 140 points for basically what amounts to a 12-second ride for Darby McAdams. You can imagine if she can pull all 45 seconds there as she practices that helix right at the end. So hopefully looks like she is thinking about putting a helix into her routine. Basically an edge catch turns into a bow end cartwheel, and she's just like, what did that, 130 points going to settle for her, as that keeps her in 2nd place. Hitomi's 2 rides combining to keep her in 1st place. And now we're going to go back to the top for everyone's final ride here in the 1st heat. We are basically pushing on time, which is good. We had to get caught up from a 10-minute delay, as Hitomi Takaku of Japan comes down onto this feature and going to a nice clean blunt to the right, pushing that paddle out of the water. Clean is extra points, and every point counts. There's that blunt to the left. Surfing around, just doing a little bit of a shove it action to get reestablished. These are the 3rd rides, excuse me. No, maybe not. My live scoring went down. This was Hitomi's 3rd ride, excuse me. Right now her first 2 rides, 145, 368. This is going to better her score. It's going to take over that 145 with a 150, 156. As time expires, she has already flushed, so we're just watching the replay. If you had any questions about what time of year it is, you can see the leaves falling off of the trees. The South does not have the greatest of falls like you see in the Northeast or in the Rocky Mountains with those gold aspens. But we are seeing fall manifest itself here at the 2nd World Cup here in Columbus, Georgia. All right, here we go. Savannah coming out. She is going to lay down her 3rd ride now. She did not have the best of a 2nd ride with only 25 points. Oh, catching a little edge. Oh, looping out of it. Can she maintain? Oh, she cannot. That is very unfortunate. She still has another ride to put points down. And this is exactly why we give 4 rides on this feature. It is unattainable, which means when they flush, there is really no way they can get back on. They can get into that far left pocket, surfer's left, river right pocket. And if they try, they can maybe get back over that tongue. It's incredibly challenging, but they are allowed to do that. However, they are required to throw all of their moves in the main feature. So that's going to round out Savannah's 3rd ride as we bring up Dr. Jessie Stone's 3rd. Next up, we'll have Miki Sato, Rachel Sheffy, Zofia Tula, Emily Jackson, and Maya Ray Cross. In our heat number 2 of these women's preliminaries, we have 4 heats total. All right, up next, Jessie Stone. You see her right there getting the thumbs up, smiling. I wonder if partner Jörg is watching. I believe he's back in Switzerland. Might be out guiding today. It's always fun to see who comes and watches the live stream. Family, friends, people from all over the world. It's wonderful we can bring this to you. I'll get settled in this morning and call the rides right. All right, Jessie Stone coming out, surfing over to the middle. This upstream attainment here is not the hardest thing in the world, but it definitely does require a little bit of work to get out into the middle. That current's just incredibly fast and powerful. All right, there's Jessie Stone lining up her first roundhouse, currently sitting with 105 combined score. Roundhouse, and again, working all the way to that surfer's left pocket, and then coming across all the way to surfer's right. She clearly wants to set up over here. And she's backing up for that back roundhouse. They may give her a couple of spins for these, it looks like. She's just not getting the pop she wants in these passes. And there was a nice pop on the roundhouse, getting that bow underneath the water, unfortunately. That was on the buzzer, though, so I'm not going to count it as a flush. I'm just going to count it as time expired. As Dr. Jessie Stone produces her 3rd ride. 23 points, going to combine to be 105 still. Her first 2 rides holding down her actual scored spot. Now into Heidi Walsh, currently sitting in 3rd place with a combined score of 211. Heidi wants to definitely improve this because looking on the sheet, you've got Sophia, Emily, Courtney, Anna Bruno, Anais, Abby Holcomb, and then, of course, Audie Robinson-Shaw coming up. Going to all put down huge scores. All right, Heidi Walsh establishing her ride. Missing that pass, not getting the pop she wanted. They want to ride up the foam pile and come down and get pop off the water like that with a nice aerial blunt to the right. That's a good start to that. Looking for the air screw right off the bat. Way over into that flushy side. She's going to work that air screw. She's probably pretty confident with her score. This will actually increase her score with just these 2 moves. Her first ride of 41 points. This 93 will overtake that to combine. So we'll see what the final score is for this ride. And she still does have 1 more left. And actually, if she had gotten that bow and if she'd tucked her legs in, she might have gotten what they're calling a silly flip, which is the trophy move. It's not on the score sheet, but it is scoreable. And that would have been anywhere from 70 to 120 points. I'm not sure what the trophy ranges are. And now up from the U.S., rounding out the 3rd rides, Ms. Darby McAdams. Darby's 2nd ride score of 130 points was a very short ride. She did only about 12 seconds of ride as she hunted the whole feature that time. Nice establishment there right off the bat, going for that roundhouse to the left. Maybe putting a little air under the boat. They can get an air bonus on the roundhouse. She's missing this pass. She's going to come back up. She wants to set up on this side. At the end of her ride over there, she did throw a helix, so we wonder if we see that here. A helix is an upside down, basically, helicopter or 360 on the boat axis. There's that blunt to the left. Nice air under that as well. Backing it up, just roundhouse and out of that. She has 10 seconds left. We'll see if we get this big back Pan Am. Put an air into that. Maybe a blunt. There's a Pan Am. Oh, she's still on the feature. She has just a few seconds left. And there's the helix. Does she come up in the feature? She does. She manages to maintain that. Beautiful. She is smiling. She is happy with that. Darby McAdams bringing the helix at the end, just on the buzzer, catching the most fortunate of retainments on that. That bubble has just ejected people all competition long, and she pops up really well, managed to keep herself on the feature. Darby McAdams right now showing 345 points. This will put her into the lead for sure. Into this, however, we still have several more women to go to have their say. And there we go, Darby taking over first place spot, 651 points. A lead of over 100 points from Hitomi Takaku, who we will now see put her fourth ride down. Can Hitomi bring another 300-point score to the table and take over top spot? She absolutely has the skill to do this in these women's qualifiers. Hitomi just hunting around. Didn't really get a pass on that. Working over to that flushy side. A little dangerous over there. There is that nice blunt to the left. Big air under that boat. We saw her do some clean earlier on the right side. Let's see if she tries the clean there. Doesn't clean that one. Doesn't have to, though. She puts points on the board. Fighting around into that corner. There is the air screw on the shoulder. Can she retain? Oh, and she unfortunately flushes on that. Now, I'm not sure how they'll score that because she came down in the feature, rolled up. It might have been before the flush line, but it's tough to tell. That air bonus just adds all those points up for him. Hitomi bringing air to most of these moves. I think she feels confident she's going to go on to the next round trying that air screw in sort of a tough position. We'll watch her pop in here. There's that blunt to the right. Hitomi holding down the second place spot. Her first two scorers qualifying her into that spot at the moment. And here we go, Savannah of Canada lining up her fourth and final run for these preliminaries. Savannah currently in the fifth place spot. She can bring enough points to probably qualify, but she's going to have to lay down a pretty big ride to do it here. All right, Savannah establishing one of the few paddlers, actually, there's many of them, but not a lot in the plastic boats. A little bit softer of a boat. It doesn't give you quite the pop, but it's overall a more versatile boat. You can take it onto rivers, bounce it off of rocks. You can really actually paddle and play boat down rivers in these versus the carbon boats, which are used almost exclusively for competition features only. So it's nice to have a plastic boat. And we'll see how she does here at the rest of her ride. She's thrown down already. A roundhouse to the right. Popping in, looking for that roundhouse to the left. Making a pass there. Going back for that blunt to the right. Putting some more points on the board. Putting air under the boat. And that's it for Savannah's ride. She retained the feature that whole time. 35 points. It's going to up her score a little bit. She has 63 and 25 combined. Will it be enough to go on to the next round? We'll have to wait and see as we move on now to Jessie Stone of Canada going for her fourth, or Jessie Stone of the U.S. going for her fourth ride. Dr. Jessie Stone. She's being coached right now by Bartosz. Bartosz, one of the Polish paddlers, has written a book about freestyle kayaking and coaches a lot of people, including Jessie Stone. He is so fun to come stand next to because it doesn't matter if they can't hear him. He's coaching in his head all the time, talking to the paddlers. They can't hear him half the time. This wave is super loud. He loves this sport. He loves all the paddlers, and we all love Bartosz as well as Jessie Stone with that huge air blunt to the back, unfortunately flushing on that. Right now, however, Jessie Stone is going to take her first two rides, 25 and 20 and 80 points for her 105. as we move now down to Heidi Walsh. Heidi Walsh currently sitting in third place, 170 and 93 combined. She's going to want a lot more points than that to feel really safe, but that might just be a qualifying score into the finals. I suspect 300 points or so is going to be the cut, so we will see how Heidi Walsh goes into this round. All right, Heidi Walsh coming up, popping for her first pass. Can't get that one, doesn't like where she sits. Still not getting into that first pass. She's just not getting the downward velocity and pop. Right there's the pop she's looking for. Oh, and she doesn't do anything on it. She's just not getting what she wants, unfortunately. This is the challenge here, is can you force it? If you force it, are you going to flush? So getting a little roundhouse there, putting air under the boat, so that'll put points on the board at least. She needs a score of 41 or better, 42 or better to increase her score. Excuse me, 93 or better to increase her score. Right now she's done that with 95 points with a few seconds left. Doesn't look like she's going to get too many more points, so she will bump her score up by 2 points. Heidi Walsh of Great Britain doing a little practice air screw on the end there. And this leaves one powder left in this heat, Ms. Darby McAdams, and we're going to roll right into the second women's heat just after this. We had a 10-minute delayed start, so we're not going to have a 10-minute break in between. We do have, buffer time built into these schedules. That blunt there from Heidi looking really good, but missing all of her other passes. Let's hope she can perform even better in semifinals as we watch Darby McAdams, currently in first place, take this feature. Oh, immediately catching an edge there, popping up, but just going right into a ride with a beautiful air blunt to the left. Coming across to this other side, looks like she's going to set up for something. Probably a Pan Am or a blunt. She's spotting where she wants to come up. Going for the back Pan Am. Flushes on that. I do believe she came down before the flush. We'll see what the judges think. And that's going to round out the first heat here in the World Cup number 2 on Good Wave as we watch Darby McAdams put a couple of moves down. This is not going to do anything for her score. She'll just consider that practice, and that's that definitely over 90 degrees, but she flushes on that, so she's not going to get any points for that Pan Am. We are just 2 minutes out to see Miki Sato, Rachel Sheffy, Zofia Tula, Emily Jackson, Maya Ray Cross coming up next. I don't have any information on Miki, unfortunately. I can tell you she is from Japan. One of 7 athletes here. So we're going to look for her to throw some big moves. Rachel Sheffy, she started kayaking a few years ago and has just steadily increased her ability and skill. She helps out with the competitions all over the U.S. Comes to Colorado every year with Stephen Wright. Lives in an airstream down by the river. She has never competed, however, at the world level. She came out to team trials, did not qualify. So she's coming out here to this first World Cup, or second World Cup now. She has done competitions in Colorado. She just loves to move all around. She's an accountant by trade. We have a lot of just normal professionals where kayaking is their hobby. And so she got into this simply because she was a climber, liked to climb. It was hot. She said, that river looks much cooler and much calmer. Let's go kayak. Got into it, and now she is a kayaker. After that, we're going to see Zofia Tula from Poland. Zosia and Tomas are wonderful stewards of this sport. They do some fun pool stuff in the wintertime there in Poland. She has competed in world championships and World Cups all over the world. And here she goes. We've got now Miki Sato flushing immediately. Sorry about that, folks. They're starting these before the graphics are coming off. We'll get that fixed up, don't you worry. Miki Sato, Flushing. After her is going to be Emily Jackson, former world champion, multi-world champion, champion of the GoPro Mountain Games. She is a mother of 2, taking this family all over the world. And then Maya Ray Cross of the United States, or of Great Britain, excuse me. I'm just getting all the countries wrong this morning. I apologize. Maya Ray Cross, she was 8th and 16th in previous worlds. She is a kayak coach for other people in this sport, which is great. Her favorite place to paddle is up in Wales. It looks like it's pronounced Tryweryn, and I almost guarantee you that's not how it's really pronounced. There, the river in Wales. So bringing in Rachel right now, Rachel Sheffy. Coming on down onto the feature. There she is in that start pool. She does not like that start. Time does not begin until they get into that foam pile. There's a little curler up there. You'll see her aim for it. You can see it coming into screen right there on the right. They want to get up into that curler, and it'll carry them right there across. Yeah, she stalls out there, gives them plenty of time to establish this feature. Rachel, also someone who comes to the wintering grounds with Stephen Wright all winter long, so she gets the opportunity to paddle all the time. Beautiful back roundhouse, maybe a back blunt. Unfortunately, flushing on that, so that's going to give Rachel her first ride as we roll into Zofia Tula. Zosha, I should say, is the way people pronounce her name. She was the World Cup champion in 2018 sort. She had a silver and a gold there. Bronze medal in World Championships in 2019. That was her first Worlds medal. And in her first competition in the U.S., she did throw a 1,000-point ride. And it was one of the, if I believe, the first 1,000-point ride thrown on the U.S. rules system by a woman. So she is highly capable. She is a wonderful paddler. We'll see her come down and throw down her first ride. I believe she took a medal in the first World Cup as well. I cannot remember. I'm going to look that up. All right, Zosha coming down here. She is also in a plastic Jackson. Popping around that roundhouse to the right. Spinning around. There's a big pass there. Putting air under the boat on that, but unfortunately catching a flush. And that's what those paddlers are trying to avoid when you see them miss a pass. They're afraid they're going to get too far up that green tongue where they're going to come down in the green water. They sort of want to come down right where the foam pile meets the water. That'll carry them up and not back. So next up we'll see Emily Jackson of the U.S. And if you were following along at home, you can go to canoeicf.com and look up the live results, and you can see heat by heat what the results are and what the overall results are. So we're going to look now to Emily Jackson. She has been around for many years, competing, winning medals, creek boat racer, though she does more of the freestyle now these days. And a whole lot of chasing kids around the river. She comes in with a nice back blunt. Little forward blunt there, looking maybe for the clean. There's a clean spin, cleaning it up. Those are extra 10 points here, extra 10 points there. Catching that flush, but with just a few moves, throwing 168 points showing right now. This might go up. This is wonderful. We see the scores going up as this event goes on. I'm going to pull up results from the first World Cup. if you're just joining us, this is the second heat, first runs. We're going to round this out with Maya Ray Cross, Maya of Great Britain. Oh, it looks like Maya's not at the competition, so we're going to skip over her and go right back to Miki Sato of Japan. She flushed on her first ride. Here she is establishing nice roundhouse to the right, maybe a blunt, putting air underneath that boat though, so she should get the air modifier. Little roundhouse to the left, spin it around. They might have only scored that a spin. She didn't get much of an angle on the boat. However, you can get an air on a spin, and she definitely got air under that boat. Back roundhouse and around here. She's starting to put a lot more points on versus her first ride of a 0. Miki Sato representing Japan. Spinning around to the right. Popping in now, looking for that blunt. Hopefully she got that 45-degree angle. She's got just under 10 seconds left as she finishes out a much better ride. Nice big black blunt to the right. Another back blunt to the left. Right on the buzzer. Popping around. This is after the buzzer now. She is, in the last like 4 seconds, doubled her score practically. Miki Sato of Japan putting a much nicer ride together. Going to put some points on the board. She has 2 more rides after this. We are in our second rides now, where next up will be Rachel Sheffy of the U.S. All right. Waiting for this score to settle here. 175 points going to settle her in. That is a nice score to lay down a ride. We will see what her second ride does, or her third ride, hopefully her second score, so that she can get a full score and go into the semifinal round, which will come up tomorrow morning. All right, next up from the U.S., Rachel Sheffy. Rachel Sheffy backing in here, establishing nicely. Little roundhouse to the right there, popping around to the nice back blunt. She's starting to command this feature around nicely. She should be pretty comfortable with this, although she doesn't technically do the competition, so it's very interesting to see when you don't compete very much what sort of competition mindset they can bring. And she's doing really well for herself. It's wonderful to watch these athletes come out here. I'm still hunting down the results from the first event. I'm having a hard time finding them here. So right now we'll just come right back around to Zofia Tula. Zosha Tula putting down 10 points her first ride. She can definitely improve this without any problems as Zosha surfs out onto this feature. Nice establishment there. Coming around for that first pass. Not ready for that. Popping here. Little roundhouse to the right. Keeping on the feature this time much better. She already got 15 points down. Roundhouse to the left. Putting air under the boat. Back roundhouse. Maybe a back blunt there. So you watch this score. Took a nice clean spin possibly. Had to put that paddle down right at the last moment. Hopefully they give her the clean modifier on that as she spins around to the right. Setting up. Trying for that back blunt to the left. There's getting more into the blunt range now. She's making sure she's getting this stuff. There's an air screw, maybe a donkey flip. Unfortunately coming up under the bubble. This is a much better ride though, score-wise for her. 83 points. It's going to combine with that 10 to put her into the 100 range. See if this comes back up. Currently the 100-point range held down by Jessie Stone in 7th place. But we still have 8 more paddlers to go even after this heat that can upset the balance. So nobody's safe yet as we watch her Score climbed to 90 points for Zosha Tula. All right, it's going to settle in 90 points, and that will put her into 8th place. 100 points exactly. And now on to Emily Jackson. Emily currently sitting in 4th place with her 188 points. One ride, so she should increase this quite substantially. All of these women out here today have the ability to take that gold. We will be looking, of course, into the current world champion and first World Cup winner as sort of the favorite to take the top spot here, but it's still anyone's game as Emily comes down. She runs kayaking business into a back blunt, keeps her family running around the river, kayaks all over the world. She's a great steward of this sport, encourages everyone to paddle. Beautiful right blunt with some air. Looking for that clean blunt to the left, maybe a clean roundhouse. When they hold that paddle up and they initiate just with their hips, they get that clean modifier. Can she keep on this feature? She can. What a wonderful retention there. Backing it up for a clean blunt to the right, maybe a clean roundhouse. Looking for the helix right there at the end. Starting to put big points up right on the end. She's got 1 second left. Can she put something down? The buzzer has sounded. Looking for a big Pan Am right at the end. That was definitely after the buzzer. But 276 points showing. Right now, she is threatening the top spot, which is currently held down by Darby and Hitomi. So we're going to have to see where this score puts her. It's going to definitely pop her into the 3rd place spot at least. And she'll be looking to threaten 2nd place. Right now, however, Darby McAdams has a commanding lead in 1st. There's that beautiful blunt to the right. Again, he's looking for that bow to go down and the stern to come up into a 45-degree angle. Same way there, back blunt, and the back blunt is the opposite where the stern comes up and the bow goes down into a 45-degree angle at least. 306 points so far, looking good. Nice ride for Emily Jackson as she's going for that clean. They hold that paddle way in the air, so the judges have no mistake that they did no work with their paddle to get those extra points. All right, so she is settled into 3rd place with a 306-point ride. Still Hitomi ahead as we look now for Miki Sato. May Cross in this heat, but on the heat sheet, but not making the heat this morning. I am not sure if she just couldn't compete or if there's any other reason why she's not here, but we're going to go right into Miki Sato. Miki currently sitting in the 5th place spot. She's going to want to increase this, though, as there are still plenty of paddlers to come. Beautiful black roundhouse, maybe back blunt. Hard to see if there was any air under that boat with the foam pile. Oh, failing that pass. Could give her a sidekick. Catching an edge coming up. Showing the power of this feature as she works really well to maintain and not flush. That is a feat in and of itself on this powerful wave, good wave they call it here, under the wave shaper, next wave shaper island. Miki Sato making a pass there, not able to do much with that one. Backing it up, popping around. There's a nice roundhouse to the right. Looking roundhouse to the left the other way, maybe be giving him blunts. As she is hunting around right on the buzzer, looking for a clean spin. It really has to be one fluid movement, and she never did finish fully upstream, so they may not give her that, but 73 points right now showing. Miki only has 175 points on a single ride score, so this is going to up her into the 250 range. And that 250 range is not going to be enough to increase her standing, but it does buffer her score out for the other paddlers. She closes in on Heidi Walsh at 265 as you see the results there. But Miki Sato does have one more ride to come increase that score, so she is threatening that 4th and 3rd place spot as we move now to Rachel Sheffy. Rachel is, for all practical purposes, a local here, spending a lot of time at the wintering grounds. And it's basically a trade up. She paddles, Stephen holds the leash of the dog. Stephen paddles, she holds the leash of the dog. That's sort of how they do it. Joint dog duties, joint paddling all the time. Looking for that back roundhouse straight off the bat. She's going to hunt over to this right side, getting a right spin. Should put 10 points on the board there for her. Another right spin, looking for that roundhouse in there. See if they get that roundhouse on her. There's that roundhouse to the left. That should put another 15 points down. As she's backing it up, maybe looking for that back roundhouse. Spotting right where she wants to go, because once she turns around, she's looking at the foam pile, and she's going to pop up and bubble over. So right now, Rachel Sheffy only has 23 points on one ride. This 35 will buffer her up into the 60-point range, roughly, just shy of that. Not going to quite make 60. She's going to be sitting at 58.33. However, she still has one more ride to put more points on the board. Right now, from Poland, Zosia Tula. Zosia's going to come out, going way over to that center spot where it's nice and retentive. Catching a high bubble there, but sets up for a nice, perfect pass for that beautiful right blunt with air. What a nice start for her. She spins around to the right. Another 10 points right there. She's going to pop around, looking maybe for a left move now. There it is, a left roundhouse. Coming back around, spinning it up. Looking for that back blunt to the right. Oh, and catches the bubble. Bubble's over. Zosia, however, only has a first ride score of 10 points. This 100 showing will combine with her previous ride of 90. Going to put her up in the 190, maybe 100, maybe 200 point range. Looks like now standing at 205 combined. If this score stands, we hope it goes a little bit higher. They're going to go back and say, was there any air we missed? Did she go for anything clean? She's trying to show clean there on that roundhouse. It's a little tough where they hold the paddle up, but the water then just bubbles up. And there we go, 205 for her. That is going to bump Zosia up into the 6th place spot. So it's going to increase her standing. And she still will have one more ride after that. But now we have up Emily Jackson of the U.S. Emily paddling out. Mother, father, husband, and grandmother out here watching today. The whole family, and oh, that is a very unfortunate bubble over. She is sitting in 3rd place with 495 points. That should be enough to carry her through. It's a nice high score. The people who threaten her, of course, Courtney, Kieran, Abby Holcomb. Anna East can definitely throw some big rides. Anna Bruno can as well. But Audie Robinson-Shaw we look at today for the big point earner. She is just a powerhouse paddler. So still plenty of paddlers to go as we round out these rides. And actually that was Emily's 3rd ride, so she still has one more shot to increase this score. Back up to the top of the order with Miki Sato. Miki currently sitting in 5th place with 248 combined. She's got 175 and a 73, and so given she's got 175 in a previous ride, she can definitely repeat that performance, bring another 170, 180, maybe even 200 points to the table to secure a spot into the semis. They will be cutting the bottom field in this and taking only 10 into semifinals. I count 18 paddlers, so just shy of 20. And if there's over 20, they would have to then go into quarterfinals. Under 20, they cut to semifinals. And there's at least 2 paddlers missing. Actually, just 1 paddler missing thus far in Maya Ray Cross, so we're definitely under the 20 mark. But we're going to watch Miki Sato unfortunately bubble up. That is very unfortunate for her. She was looking for a much higher score to take her into semis. So we're just going to have to wait and watch as we finish out this and go into the next heat for this 2022 World Cup Women's Qualifiers. All right, as we continue on here, we're going to look next for Rachel Sheffy and her 4th ride. And I am now joined by none other than the estimable Eleanor Knight out of Washington. Eleanor, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right, right now we are sitting, that is the leaderboard. Rachel Sheffy is coming up next. Rachel currently sitting in the 9th place spot. That is a qualifying spot. However, she's going to want to bring more points to the board. Her first rides were a flush 23 and 35 for combined of 58.3 as we wait for her to get started up here. I can see her down in the eddy a little bit. We're not sure if she's got the thumbs up yet or not.
That's right. She'll be wanting to improve her score so that she'll be able to stay in a qualifying spot because we still have 8 more competitors after her, after this heat.
That is right. So what that means, though, is that the top 5 spots will be safe for sure after the next heat, and the top 4 spots are safe after that heat. All right, Rachel Sheffy.
Here she goes, dropping in. She's looking to make her first move. Trying to get to the top of that wave. She goes for a back blunt. Looking to make another move. Oh, a nice little roundhouse there. Spinning around. Another back roundhouse. Trying to maintain the feature, and she does. She's setting up again for one last big trick in these last seconds. Oh, a huge back blunt. And she flushes off the side of the feature.
All right, Rachel Sheffy. Looks like they might have just given her, it looks like a couple of spins. I'm not quite sure. I think they gave her air on one of those spins.
I think so. It is possible to do spins with air, and that does mean you get some extra points.
Might have been an air and a clean. She was holding that paddle pretty high. So that's it for Rachel Sheffy, sitting at 65 points. Still holding her in the 9th place spot as we now look to Zosia Tula from Poland.
All right, Zosia is dropping in. She is looking to make a really big pass here. Nice big blunt. Setting up again for another trick. She does a little back roundhouse there. Spinning around. It is quite difficult to get to the top of this feature, and we can see she's trying to do that. She's making some good moves here. Already at 81 points, still going up. Another back roundhouse or blunt there. One final move for Zosia. Ooh, she went for the helix, but just flushed off the end.
Zosia currently with a 90 and a 115 combined. I doubt this score is going to help her improve her spot. Currently sitting in 6th. It is a vulnerable position. Her ride before this, she came down, went right to the top in this beautiful pass. This time, she couldn't quite get that lucky pop into this feature. this foam pile being very challenging to get up into the top and then down onto the green water without another bubble popping you up in the meantime.
Yeah.
And so this is the skill they have to bring, which Zosha is now going to sit 205 combined. Her 2 middle rides are the ones that are going to score for her. As we bring her on to the bottom of this heat, Emily Jackson from the United States.
All right, Emily Jackson is no stranger to this feature. She's trained here for a long time. She's ready to show what she can do. She's dropping in, already going for that back roundhouse, right into a huge blunt, maybe even clean. Another huge back blunt, maybe even a Pan Am. Oh, she's spinning it around, looking for another huge blunt. She's just throwing down right into a blunt again. Using those clean spins to bring her to the top of the wave. She's already at 460 points. Looking for a helix. And she got the helix. Wow, this is just a big ride for Emily Jackson.
Yeah, so right now Emily is sitting in 3rd place with 188 and 306 combined. This 553 by itself threatens the 2nd place spot by a single ride score. Darby McAdams' previous rides were basically 345 and 306. So this is going to combine with Emily's 306 points to put her into a commanding lead.
Yeah.
And while we know that every paddler out here can throw huge moves, this is sending a message to one paddler in particular, Audie Robinson-Shaw, that she is going to set the bar really high, forcing Audie to come out here and really throw big if she wants to maintain this 1st place spot.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, this is going to put Emily into 1st going through these quarterfinals. We still have 8 paddlers after this to go and put their names on the board as well as we watch this score settle out. What a great performance here as we watch this. There it does settle out, puts her into 1st place. Emily Jackson, 876 combined.
Yeah, that's a huge ride.
That clean right there. You can see her hold up that paddle blade, just bringing every point down as we then look into the... Oh, they're not going to show those helixes. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:28 local time. We will begin at 9:45, so we were just about 15 minutes out from the 3rd round, 3rd heat of this women's preliminaries, where we will see Allie Davis, Courtney Karen, Anna-Ese, Anna Bruno. That would be Allie from the United States, Courtney from New Zealand, Anna-Ese from Ireland, and Anna Bruno of the U.S. So stick around. I'm Hojo.
And I'm Eleanor.
For the continuation of the women's preliminaries at World Cup number 2 on Good Wave.
Greetings all. Hi, my name is Ed Wolverton. I'm president of Uptown Columbus, and on behalf of our board of directors, as well as the board of the Business Improvement District, I want to welcome everyone to the ICF World Cups. When we were first awarded these competitions in June of 2021, Uptown quickly convened a group of 30 civic leaders to help plan, fund, and organize these competitions. What you're seeing this week is part of that big effort to make this happen for our community. We had three major goals as part of putting this together. One was for the competitions to be an economic development engine for our entire region. Secondly, to make this an extravaganza that everyone can enjoy. And lastly, we wanted to be sure to attract more people to Columbus and Phoenix City to raft, zipline, and enjoy our community. We appreciate you coming here, and we look forward to a great competition. Thank you all.
Hi, this is Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 ICF International Kayak Competition. We are thrilled to have visitors join us from all over the globe. So if you're here competing or if you're here pulling for your favorite competitor, we hope you'll get an opportunity to enjoy some of the special things that make Columbus so unique. Welcome.
I'm Mayor Eddie Lowe of Positively Phoenix City. And we are so grateful that you have decided to join us here in Phoenix City as well as in Columbus, Georgia. We know without a shadow of a doubt that you will really have an enjoyable time that you've ever had. So thank you all so very, very much for joining us here in this wonderful regions of Positively Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia.
Hey everyone, I'm Helena Coates. I am the co-chair of our committee that we've put together to welcome the entire world to Columbus, Georgia. So we're excited to have you. We can't wait to watch you in the river, and we can't wait for you to experience our wonderful community. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Hey, I'm Dan Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are so excited to welcome you to Columbus and Phoenix City. We have what we think is the best whitewater in the world. We have the best athletes in the world coming together with that whitewater. I hope you have a great time at this event. We're so glad you're here.
Hey, I'm Daniel Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are thrilled to have you in town with us and excited to share this lovely section of whitewater with you today.
Hi, I'm Luce DeBears, and I'm honored to be a part of the host committee and invite you guys to Columbus and show you guys all we have to offer.
Heidi. I worked on the host committee, and welcome to Columbus and Phoenix City, one of the South's best kept secrets.
Of our women's preliminary round of the World Cup on Good Wave. We're going to have 4 competitors in this heat. First up, we have Allie Davis. This is actually her first freestyle competition. She has been kayaking for like 3 or 4 years and just wants to show her skills and have fun. She actually learned to kayak on this river, surfing Good Wave and Ambush. So she is pretty familiar with the feature, and she's confident and ready to have fun. Some of her other hobbies are rock climbing, and she works at a local coffee shop called Iron Banks. She's just gonna come out here and look to have as much fun as she can. Not really worried about going big, just having fun. Second, we have Courtney Karen. You've probably heard her a lot announcing. She's a phenomenal announcer. She's also a phenomenal freestyle kayaker. She's gonna look to throw some big tricks in hopes of making the next cut. Third, we have Anais from Ireland. Anais has been dedicated to this World Cup for almost 7 weeks now. She arrived here in early September and has been training on Good Wave and Ambush, trying to make sure that she has the skills needed to make the cut. And last, we have Anna Bruno. She's no stranger to competition. She won a bronze medal in squirt boating just 2 days ago, and she is looking to throw down some big moves to make the cut.
All right, here we go, getting underway here. Courtney Karen of New Zealand. She's going to come around here and establish her first ride. Courtney, of course, is a silver medalist from the Junior World Championships back, I believe, in her home river in New Zealand. Beautiful right blunt there, putting air into the boat. Going in for, looks like that was left blunt, then a right blunt, excuse me. And she's laying down some big points straight off the bat. Getting over to that fleshy side, she's going to have to fight back over. This is a spot where they don't want to throw a move right there unless they can get back into that foam pile. Courtney Karen, also helping us with the announcing here, has been off the circuit for a while. You know, pandemic, being stuck down there in New Zealand. Kind of a cool place to be stuck, mind you.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's just gorgeous down there. Looks like she's going to start with somewhere in the 120-point range as the judges settle her score.
It's a solid ride for Courtney Karen. Just one more of those and she'll be up in 5th place.
That is right.
Looks like Allie Davis is not competing today. She did compete on ambush, but I think she decided not to compete in good wave this go around.
And this is a big feature. You know, this is a feature that a lot of paddlers, Matt Hargrove yesterday, doesn't really paddle. He lives here. His son, you know, paddles and competes, but Matt's like, you know, I'm going to compete, but this is not what I like to go on, you know.
Yeah.
He's doing it to support the organization and stuff like that. We had a real fun time with it, giving him a hard time out there. And but to come and throw down and ride the bull as it were, that it's a challenge. It's a powerful feature, and it's something that I don't get on lightly for sure. I might surf it a little bit, but I'd much rather go to the wave behind it called Great Wave.
Sure is great.
And it's great, yeah. And so I'd much rather go back to that 151 points for Courtney there, settling her in. But I'd much rather go back and surf Great Wave, me personally, because it's a much nicer, calmer feature.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we have Anais of Ireland. She was 8th in Worlds at Nottingham, 10th in European Championships. She is just a fun individual. She's smiley, laughy, happy as she takes her ride.
All right, Anais looking to go big here. She starts off with a spin, one of her classics, right into a shove it. Maybe trying to link that. Another spin to the right. Just trying to get some good points on the board, but unfortunately flushes off the right side. Side is pretty flushy. Most athletes want to stay in the middle of the wave instead of the right or left.
So we have a few Irish here this time around. Anais, one of them. We'll see David McClure come up in the men's class next. He is a powerful paddler. Enjoy seeing these Europeans come over here to compete in world competitions all over the world, especially since we just had the Worlds over there. So they're making a lot of time to travel here, take time out of their school, out of work to get in 2 big competitions. 25 points for Anais. She's going to come back and try to set down some more. She has 3 more rides after this as it comes now into Anna Bruno of the U.S. Anna has been around kayaking all over the world. She can do waves. She can do holes. She used to help out with the Keener program. I think she still does that. She now, works professionally in this realm for NRS. Was just over in France at a big paddle sports expo over there, rushing back to get here just in time to compete and take a medal in squirt.
All right, here she goes, dropping in. She's looking to go big on this ride. Oh, kind of coming over to the right side, but pulling it back into the middle of the wave. She does a right spin to set up. Looking for a left roundhouse. A nice right roundhouse, possibly pulling it around, trying to maintain in the feature. Up, up, up. Fortunately flushes.
That's a tough spot. They get there, and it's sort of by chance at that point in time. If they can catch that bubble that keeps them down or bubbles them over, it's anyone's game. We've seen the best paddlers in the world get caught in that spot and just flush without it in the blink of an eye. So a lot of chance once you get there, but beautiful right blunt going into that. I think she stuck that. They should give her points for some of that. But again, she'll have 3 more rides to put down some more scores here. Anna Bruno of the U.S. She's going to take us back around to Ms. Courtney Karen of New Zealand.
This should be a pretty quick heat. So we only have 3 women in this heat, and we had 5 in the last 2.
Courtney Karen getting to come back to the U.S. She used to come here every year to travel in the Colorado Tour and then go to whatever World Championship, World Cup was happening that year with Team Jackson. She's been pretty much a mainstay in that family. This time coming and traveling around with partner Danny in Danny's van, outfitted to be the van down by the river. And Danny able to come back here with Courtney and see sort of this whole whitewater scene that she has been thrust into after having met Courtney. So right now Courtney's score, her first ride, sitting here 151 points. That's in 7th place spot. She can qualify higher than that though. Right now, the 5th place spot, which is where she kind of wants to be, it's fifth or actually sixth is probably safe given the number of paddlers we have, is being held down by Zosha Tula and Miki Sato, 205 and 248 points respective. So another ride like that for Courtney will put her into the 300-point range, up into fourth, and that's a pretty safe spot to be.
Yeah, I'd say so. We only have 4 athletes in the next round, so sixth should put you into semifinals.
That is correct. And of course, the next round we do have Abby Holcomb and Audie Robinson-Shaw, 2 big, heavy hitters we're looking for big scores from. And here we go, Courtney Kieran from New Zealand.
Here she goes, dropping in. Oh no, oh no.
There's the unfortunate bubble.
That
That's
does happen.
It's her second ride. Now she will need to put down more points if she wants to go on. She will have 2 more chances. And if you watch it, you can see that close side to us. There's a green wave, green, green, and then it foams over. And so if you catch it with that foam, you're a little safe. But if all of a sudden, boom, it goes green right there, it bubbles you right off. So that's why the paddlers are pushing a little more into the center. She just could not get across. All part of the game here for Courtney. Of course, she's also coming off of multiple shoulder surgeries, common injury. I am thinking right now, let's see what time it is in New Zealand right now. Let's take a look at that, because it is certainly not daytime.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes, when they come from around the world, they have to adjust to this time zone, which can be pretty difficult.
I guarantee you, I'm looking up what time it is, and Kev at home is yelling at me through the computer screen. It's 2:52, Hojo. It's 2:52.
Wow.
Because I'm quite sure Uncle Kev is watching there. Uncle Kev now watching Anna East of Ireland come down to set down a much better ride this time.
Here she goes for that first right spin. Oh no, she just flushes off the right side. That is a very flushy side.
This is the name of the game today, to stay on the feature. Anna East, 25 points in her first ride. She's going to put maybe one judge giving her a partial spin. It'll improve her score, but not enough, I don't think. She is going to really want to bring more points to the table if she wants to go on to the next round.
For sure.
Here in the 2022 World Cup on Good Wave, here in the Chattahoochee River, this whole whitewater park, Rush South, was basically the result of the city cleaning up the river, taking out a couple of really old defunct dams that were servicing textile mills. And the whole story is pretty cool, because the textile mills back in the day led to the creation of the Synovus Bank, that's one of the main sponsors here. And the T-Sys company that's just up the road from this whitewater park pioneered the credit card magnetic strip. We got W.C. Bradley making grills, all these wonderful companies coming together, as now we watch Anna Bruno take the feature.
Here she goes. Oh, nice blunt to the left. And a big blunt to the right. Maybe just a roundhouse. We'll see what the judges say.
Putting air under both of those for sure.
Yeah. Air bonuses count as extra points. Going for those spins. Maybe a little back roundhouse. She's already upping her score. Oh, a huge back blunt. Maybe even a Pan Am. Another Pan Am. Man, she is just throwing down this ride.
This is the ride Anna wanted for sure.
She's already out 286 points. Looking for one last big trick. Can't quite set it up. One more, and a blunt to the right. She's happy with that ride.
Blunt to the right, right on the buzzer. Looks like it's going to give her a little bit of extra points, or maybe they just scored it a roundhouse. You can get both the roundhouse and the blunt. But Anna Bruno bringing some nice points to the board, 313 points. This is, if she can repeat this process, it's going to put her in top 5, no question about it. As we look at the replay here, again, it's so fun to have the replay where we can take apart the ride.
Her score is still climbing.
Spotting that shoulder there, looking at the flush spot, going, I can't get close to that. Oh, that was definitely a Pan Am. Her boat going over 90 degrees. Of course, I say it's definitely a Pan Am. That looks like a Pan Am the other way. It is all up to the judges.
Yeah, this is definitely increasing her last score at 51 points. With this score, it should put her into, yep, 4th place.
There we go. So Anna Bruno, combined score of 395, sticking her solidly in 4th, behind Hitomi, ahead of Heidi. Right now, sitting in the 8th place spot is Courtney Kieran. Courtney with a 151 single ride score. However, she's going to want to add to that because her second ride was a full flush, the proverbial goose egg, as we call it. And she wants maybe the golden goose egg, which right now, 200-point ride is a pretty sure bet. 300-point ride sends a message to the field, and a 400-point ride would be extraordinary out of Courtney. So we hope for her to produce a lot of points. We are taking a little extra time between these paddlers. There's only 3 in this heat. And when they flush, they basically go all the way around the wave shaper island. They have to paddle up, get out on the stairs, get out of their boat, walk their boat up through the rocks in front of the judge stand, put the boat back down, get back in the boat. So it takes a little time, and we don't want to rush any paddler. We plan for 5-person heats. We plan for 45-second rides with time in between. So if we were to press this with flushes, it would really make the paddlers have to rush around, and we're not going to do that. So that's what the time is here. So if you see that banner there on your screen, we got Georgia Power, that little triangle there. They're the ones providing this water for us. There's a dam upstream, and they're pulling, how much water are they pulling through?
3 gens for good wave.
And 3 gens. Do you know how many cubic feet that is?
It's about 9,000 right now.
That's right, 9,000 cubic feet. And you can imagine a cubic foot as 1 American basketball. A good visual there. And one of the organizers, Richard, looked at me and goes, "Are you making that up? Are you making that up?" No, it's actually a really good approximation of a cubic foot. You can't see the whole river. This is just one slice of it. There's a bunch of water flowing through multiple channels down here. So the actual water flowing through Good Wave right now is probably closer to 3,000 cubic feet. Another 3,000 flowing through the center channel and 3,000 flowing through that far right side. A big rapid called Cutbait. Have you paddled through Cutbait?
Yeah, I have. It's actually really fun.
It's a wonderful rapid. And again, different levels, different characters. So you can imagine, look at that wave. There's 3,000 basketballs coming through at any point in time. And here we go. Courtney Karen riding 3,000 basketballs. Don't laugh. It's not funny. It's just true. It's a fact. All right. Establishing much nicer this time as she hunts around for that roundhouse to the right. Popping in. Oh, she's almost getting that flush. Bringing it back down. Looks like they're going to give her the spin. Oh, they gave her the roundhouse on that. She's just reestablishing. Oh, and bubbles over again. Courtney's 3rd ride, she did so well in her 1st ride. In these second 2 rides, she's just unable to get established. I do have all the confidence and faith in the world she can bring a much higher ride into her 4th, but she is now going to lay it all on the line, all on 1 ride.
It's a pretty tight situation to be in, to have 1 ride be the deciding factor.
I can hear Uncle Kev yelling at the computer screen from New Zealand through my monitor. I can hear it.
Yeah.
He actually had a birthday on the earlier part of this event. We tried to give him a shout out, and I completely forgot, and then it was all over. But we still talked to him. Great. All right, there we go. Courtney Kieran.
That'll move up her score slightly, just by 15 points.
So they do give her some points after that. I was looking at the wrong screen, silly me. She has 2 more rides to put down as we watch Anais. We got a weird thing. We're scoring went a little south on us here. It's showing only 2 rides. There's definitely 3 rides out there. I'm not sure what's going on. As we look at Anais from New Zealand, or from Great Britain, coming down here, putting on her ride. Anais currently sitting in 12th place.
She'll really want to bump up this ride, throw down some big tricks to secure a spot in semifinals. Wow, a nice big roundhouse, maybe into a recovery cartwheel. Oh, she definitely got some points for that. Already throwing down a nice bigger ride, but unfortunately flushes.
Flush there. Anais also coming to us in a carbon boat. These Gigi Prod carbon boats are really stiff on the bottom, and they can throw a lot of air. She puts air under that roundhouse to the right. Almost flushes there, rescues it out, but unfortunately on this next move, can't quite maintain as she spins around and tries to set up for another pass. Looking for the back roundhouse or back blunt, and does not get that pass down. Anais of Ireland. And there we go. My score's caught up now. We've got now Anais 35 points. It does improve her score to 60. That will keep her in 12th place, unfortunately. So she's going to have to also bring this last ride to get all the points possible as we go back up to the top with Anna Bruno. Anna Bruno currently sitting 395 points in 4th place. She's in a very comfortable spot right here.
Definitely.
Courtney and Anais still has something to say about that. But if Anna Bruno can come and put down another 200, 300-point ride, she will really throw herself into contention for the top spots.
Yeah, Anna Bruno is dropping in for her 3rd ride. She's looking to make a pass. Goes into a nice blunt on the right. Spinning around. Oh! She recovers that. Finds herself in the middle of the wave. Trying to set up for a little spin back blunt. A huge Pan Am to the left and stays in the wave. But she just flushes off the side.
Oh, she gets that rescue cartwheel, establishes. She's sideways, she's in a safe spot. But before she can spot where she really needs to be, those 2 surges just pop her right off. And those are those surges we're talking about. Nice blunt to the right there, getting that boat down. She does bring 125 points to the table on this ride, maybe 150 now. This is gonna really buffer her out nicely. It's gonna bring her up. Maybe not taking over Hitomi's spot, but giving a nice lead up into that top 5.
Yeah, for sure. She's in a pretty safe position right now. There's not that many competitors left, so we can assume that she's in the semifinals.
That is right, but she knows that coming after her, Audie and Abby both have the ability to knock her down. So right now, Anna coming up into 508. That's going to put her solidly into 4th place now, without any problems. And she still has one more ride to go, I believe, or it'll be in 4th rides. Their live scoring is a little messed up, unfortunately. Nope, this will be the start of 4th rides now for Courtney Kieran. Now Courtney must produce at this point in time. She's sitting in 8th. There are 2 paddlers who can absolutely knock her completely off the podium.
Yeah.
She is not in any way safe.
No.
So we are looking for Courtney to put down a big ride. We want to see everyone go to semifinals, but we can't. We just can't. It's the nature of competition. It's how it is. So every paddler who comes up, we're going to hope they go on. And right now it's Courtney Kieran. But again, if we look there, as I was telling the story earlier, they had a couple of hydro dams, old dams, over 100 years old. They had them removed. If you can catch the movie The Wintering Grounds, they show even a video of them blowing up some of these dams and taking what was basically an industrial landscape of a dead river and revitalizing it, not only for the ecology of the river, but for the betterment of the community at large. Beautiful river path here, but for us, it brings these wonderful features. And so long as Georgia Power puts water through that power plant, we can get onto this wet rapid and really play, have fun with the river in the Rush South area. Of course, we also have the Coca-Cola Company. Coca-Cola having been invented here.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's largely thought of as an Atlanta thing, but no, it was invented here. And then, of course, Atlanta gets all the fame, but that's okay. This whole event brought to us by the International Canoe Federation. They are the organizing body. They're the ones that set the rules. They're the ones that bring this event here from all over the world. We have judges, we have committee members, the community itself, ACA, our own organizing body. AC Hotels helping us out. They're housing that ICF committee. And as I was saying earlier, WC Bradley, they got some of their grills on display. They make the charbroil grill and the tiki torch. They make some cool things. It's nice to see the manufacturing here in this community. Uptown Columbus is the center point of this. They are the main organizing entity for what they call the Home Organizing Committee, the HOC. So we've been working with them all week long. They've brought us athletes some wonderful parties, wonderful activities.
Yeah, 3 awesome dinners and parties. And we still have one more to go on Sunday. It's a pretty cool atmosphere down here in Columbus.
So fun. And we've, of course, had Whitewater Express, Daniel and Dan Gilbert. They hosted a party at Dan's house the other night. They provided shuttles early on. They gave me a boat to paddle. It's like, here, go paddle. I'm like, I might swim out of it. They're like, that's fine. And then I did swim out of it. And it was fine. It was fine. I saved the boat. I saved the paddle. So we're getting great support here. So, Eleanor, tell us about this wave here. You're talking about the middle, left, and right. What's your take on how it is? Because you're competing on this feature.
Yeah, the middle is definitely the place to be. It's pretty foamy down there. It's good to set up for tricks, good to throw tricks. And as you get further left, it's also pretty good, but it starts to green out a little bit and forces you left.
Surfers left or river left?
River left.
River left, so that'd be surfers right. So court to Courtney's right is what she's talking about there.
All right, Courtney Karen dropping in for her run. She's paddling.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Now, that was a big move. She definitely threw air into the boat. They might give her the Pan Am or a huge
that was a
blunt.
huge move, yeah.
It's 80 points. Now, 80 points is going to be pretty tenuous for her. Let's take a look at where this is going to sit her out in the score. It's going to put her up. It's going to put her up into the 200-point range. It's going to sit her right around 6th as this settles.
6th will be a good position to be.
If she's in 6th, she should be okay. Let's see where it sets her. All right, here we go. Score comes in. Wait, I haven't updated yet.
231 points will put her.
Let's see here. 231. Courtney Karen is now in 7th place. Oh, she is on the absolute bubble.
7th place, man.
And that's how this competition goes. We're going to have to wait to see if Lauren, Audie, Abby, or Alex has anything to say about that. But right now, we have Anna East. Anna East currently sitting down in the 12th place position as she takes this ride.
Her final ride on good wave for this round. She goes in for a spin, looking to put some points on the board so that she can make it to semifinals. She's turning it around, trying to make a pass. Oh, she just catches the curler on that surfer's right side.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen at home, that was Anna East from Ireland. She came out here. She has been really enjoying this feature and this training. She's been a fixture in the paddling community now for the last few days, just bringing all of her energy to this competition.
She is just a great person to be around.
She's not going to go on in this one. She's an actual gymnastics instructor. That's cool. You know, talk about the different levels of athletics we see. So, I mean, we get lawyers, we get school teachers, and in this case, a gymnastics instructor. So, you know, she's got a lot of athleticism just built into her core. Unfortunately, not being able to produce anything today to bring her into the semifinal round. However, she does throw down 4 rides. All 4 rides did score, and that's a hard thing to do in and of itself. So good job for Anna East. And now Anna Bruno, right now, Anna's sitting in 4th place. She's in a safe spot. However, she does have one low score of 51 and a next low score of 165. So if she can put more than 165, she can increase her position as she goes in for that huge Pan Am and catches the stern Pan Am to stern flush, and that'll be it for Anna Bruno. She's safe. Let's take a look at this replay.
She's getting a lot of points for that one trick, though. That was just huge. Unfortunately, flushing, so she can't make any more points, but she's
throwing her
happy.
hand up at the end. She's like, I got that. Don't you? I think she is pretty happy if she can bring that move in semifinals.
Yeah.
That could put her in the final. If she can bring that move into finals, along with her other moves that could put her a medal around her neck, and that's what they're looking for.
Never really know with this wave. It is a lot skill, but there's a little luck in.
All right, so those are our 4th rides. Courtney right now currently qualified into the 7th place position. Anna Bruno up into the 4th. And we are going to roll into our last heat of women here shortly. It is 10:11 local time. We have a start time of 10:30 local time, so just under 20 minutes. Come back. Again, we're going to see Lauren Bird of the United States, Audie Robinson-Shaw, your current World Cup 1 champion, from Great Britain, Abby Holcomb from the United States, and Alex Maggs of Canada all round out this. We can tell you right now, Emily Jackson, Darby McAdams, Hitomi Takaku, Anna Bruno, Heidi Walsh, and Miki Sato all safe. They will be going to semifinals.
Yes.
Will Courtney, Zosha, Savannah, and Jessie hold their bottom 4 spots? We will find out in this World Cup number 2 here at Good Wave. I'm Hojo.
And I'm Eleanor.
And thank you very much for joining us. Eleanor is going to go get ready for her run. Stick around after that. We're going to watch Eleanor compete in junior women's.
Greetings all. Hi, my name is Ed Wolverton. I'm president of Uptown Columbus, and on behalf of our board of directors, as well as the board of the Business Improvement District, I want to welcome everyone to the ICF World Cups. When we were first awarded these competitions in June of 2021, Uptown quickly convened a group of 30 civic leaders to help plan, fund, and organize these competitions. What you're seeing this week is part of that big effort to make this happen for our community. We had three major goals as part of putting this together. One was for the competitions to be an economic development engine for our entire region. Secondly, to make this an extravaganza that everyone can enjoy. And lastly, we wanted to be sure to attract more people to Columbus and Phoenix City to raft, zipline, and enjoy our community. We appreciate you coming here, and we look forward to a great competition. Thank you all.
Hi, this is Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 ICF International Kayak Competition. We are thrilled to have visitors join us from all over the globe. So if you're here competing or if you're here pulling for your favorite competitor, we hope you'll get an opportunity to enjoy some of the special things that make Columbus so unique. Welcome.
I'm Mayor Eddie Lowe of Positively Phoenix City, and we are so grateful that you have decided to join us here in Phoenix City as well as in Columbus, Georgia. We know without a shadow of a doubt that you will really have an enjoyable time that you've ever had. So thank you all so very, very much for joining us here in this wonderful regions of Positively Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia.
Hey everyone, I'm Helena Coates. I am the co-chair of our committee that we've put together to welcome the entire world to Columbus, Georgia. So we're excited to have you. We can't wait to watch you in the river, and we can't wait for you to experience our wonderful community. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Hey, I'm Dan Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are so excited to welcome you to Columbus and Phoenix City. We have what we think is the best whitewater in the world. We have the best athletes in the world coming together with that whitewater. I hope you have a great time at this event. We're so glad you're here.
Hey, I'm Daniel Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are thrilled to have you in town with us and excited to share this lovely section of whitewater with you today.
Hi, I'm Luce Tavares, and I'm honored to be a part of the host committee and invite you guys to Columbus and show you guys all we have to offer.
Hi, I'm Katie. I worked on the host committee, and welcome to Columbus and Phoenix City, one of the South's best kept secrets.
Hey, I'm Robert Watkins. On behalf of the Georgia Power Company, we want to welcome you to Columbus.
I'm Mary Sherman, Executive Director of the Columbus Sports Council. We are thrilled to welcome you to this amazing place that we are fortunate to call home. We hope you have a wonderful experience here in our community and hope you come back often.
Hey, I'm Justin Krieg from the Historic Columbus Foundation and a part of the ICF host committee. We're so excited to have you all here with us in Columbus, Georgia. We hope you have a great time.
All right, welcome back. We are in our final heat here in women's preliminaries 2022 Freestyle World Cup number 2. Brought to you here by Uptown Columbus, Georgia, on the beautiful Chattahoochee River. We are looking at the Good Wave feature behind our graphic there. In this heat, we will see Lauren Bird, a local, Audie Robinson Shaw, the current reigning world champion, also having 3 gold medals in this competition so far. Women's K1, women's C1, and squirt boat. And then we will see current reigning junior world champion Abby Holcomb, who has now transitioned into the senior class. Possibly Alex Maggs from Canada. I am not entirely sure if she is here or not. It might just be a 3-woman heat. So we're going to be looking a shootout between Audie Robinson-Shaw and Abby Holcomb. These two women are really good friends. They train together. They oftentimes travel together. And now they are competing together here at this World Cup #2. Lauren Bird, on the other hand, is a local paddler who just learned how to paddle. And she is an individual who came out of Team River Runner, which is part of the Wounded Warrior program. She is an Army veteran who had a rather unpleasant experience during her tours of duty, ended up with some mental health issues, and found solace in, of all things, running big whitewater. Now, most people would look at whitewater like this, and it would actually freak them out. It would scare them, as it does everyone, herself included. Yet she found a way to channel the whitewater, channel the training, channel being in the boat as a way to ultimately calm her trauma. And she does have a pretty fascinating story. If you can find her, she'll tell you about it. Calm her trauma with this Team River Runner program that helps wounded warriors learn how to get back on their feet by putting them back into a boat. It's pretty spectacular. So we're going to see Lauren Bird go first. And this is her home feature, actually. She was taught right here. The Hargroves, Matt Hargrove, taught her how to roll. If you were to pan the camera downstream, you would see this wave, a couple of other big waves, another sort of whole wave feature called Great Wave, and then a few little riffles right at the end. And that's where they take, once you sort of learn how to roll in the pool, they pop you out here on this river and you learn how to roll on that feature, and you slowly work your way up the river. This is very common all over the world, not unique to here necessarily. And that's where she learned how to paddle and how to calm herself and how to become whole again after her traumatic experience in serving her nation. So we're going to see Lauren Bird of the U.S., Audie Robinson-Shaw, the favorite here out of Great Britain, and Abby Holcomb. So the story here, competitive-wise, is can Abby threaten Audie? They're both incredibly powerful paddlers. And earlier, Emily Jackson threw down the gauntlet, holding down the first place spot. Is Audie going to pick that up and throw an even bigger score? I have no doubt that is what might happen here as we watch. Now, if you want to watch along at home, we have Canoe-ICF.com. You can navigate to that page, hunt around for the Freestyle World Champion, or Freestyle Final, it's called, on that page, and then go to results. Navigate to results. You can come up to the live results. You'll be looking for 8/10/2022. This is an international format, so they put the day and then the month. So this is 8th of October, not the 10th of August, as it would be read in the U.S. format. So 8/10/2022. Look for the start. Look for live results, and you can follow along at home. And here she goes. Lauren Bird, not able to get over there. Again, she is brand new to competition. Just the fact that she's able to get out here is a wonderful achievement. I have no doubt we will see her take this feature here shortly. And now, as I said earlier, we're going to be looking for Audie Robinson-Shaw of Great Britain. She is a powerhouse to be reckoned with. Audie Robinson-Shaw was the junior world champion in 2019, senior world champion in 2022, 21-22. We had to delay the World Championships 1 year. She is the squirt boat world champion in 22. She is the C1, women's C1 champion in 2022. And she is the gold medalist here in World Cup #1 in both women's and C1 and squirt boat. So she is absolutely the favorite here today to come and take top honors. The question really will be, how big is her score going to be? As you see her there in the eddy, putting that nose plug on. This is going to round out this morning, this heat, and then we're going to take a short break, maybe not even that, and go right into the women's junior competition. So stick around all day will be competing. We'll be in C-boat class next, OC boat, and then into the men's quarterfinals as Audie comes down and takes the feature, coming onto the wave. She's going to pop in for a nice blunt to the left. Putting points right on the board, establishing nicely. She's just commanding that boat around. Oh, an unfortunate flush. Bubbles over. She still has 3 more chances after that, so we will look for her to put down some big points. If you're just tuning in, we are at World Cup number 2 here in the Columbus, Georgia, on the Chattahoochee River. Watching Audie Robinson-Shaw take her first of qualifying runs. She trains at a facility in Nottingham, England, and they have kind of the neatest waves. They've got an inlet feature, which is the most stable, uniform hole you've ever seen. And they've got the comp hole we played on in the World Championships. They've got a couple of waves downstream, slalom course, flatwater course. It's a really fascinating facility there. As we look now, Abby Holcomb of the U.S., current reigning junior world champion, transitioned into senior class. She is also one that travels in a van down by the river. She was just up in Ottawa, Canada prior to this, training on the waves up there. She pops in for a beautiful blunt to the left, putting air under that boat. She can really come and take it off. Now she is in a plastic boat. There's a roundhouse to the right. Looking to back roundhouse out of that, just spins up to the front. As she's setting up now for a back pass. Looking for that back blunt to the right. Putting air into the boat. She is starting to put down a lot of points. Spinning around, maybe even a clean spin, as she's got just about 10 seconds left. Looking for another back pass, looking like that back blunt to her left. And there is a nice big air blunt to the right. Another back blunt to the right. She's already laid both of those down. She's maybe looking for a higher angle. And that's it for Abby's first ride. Coming in laying down 300 points right off the bat. Abby threatening these top spots without any problems. Currently right now, the top spot is held by Emily Jackson. And right behind her is Darby McAdams. Now Darby's high point ride was 345 points. Emily threw a high score of 570. So we're seeing what sort of points they are throwing to combine to be these qualifying spots. We will take 2 rides, add them together, the highest 2 rides. And that will be their score. They'll take them into semifinals. Right now, this score will put her comfortably into 5th place, all by itself. And we'll take a look, see if Alex Maggs is here. I had heard rumors maybe she's not. We hope she is. There we go. First ride score, 315 points for Abby Holcomb. That is going to put her into 5th place all by itself. This World Cup event down here on Good Wave. It's been the feature. People have been looking forward to it all week. We had World Cup number 1 up on Ambush. More of a wave hole feature. So we saw more of the Space Godzillas. A lot of the Blunt McNasties. We can and will see Blunt McNasties out here. But here on this feature, we're seeing the Helixes, which wasn't a move we really saw much up there. Seeing much larger Pan Ams, much larger blunts. If you look there on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see all of the sponsors that help us to bring this on. The Miller Ultra, Beam, T-Sys. T-Sys has a fun story. They are the pioneers of the magnetic strip on your credit cards. So if you ever use that credit card, tear it out, look at that magnetic strip and think, these guys are helping us bring this sport here. Water being pulled through the power plant upstream by Georgia Power. They're running 3 gens worth of power today to bring us water. We've had to get coordination from all of these folks to have this event here. Uptown Columbus, the Chamber of Commerce, AC Hotels are housing our individuals on the ICF committee. ACA is our local national federating body, and the ICF, International Canoe Federation, the main organization bringing this to world events all over the place. And I believe we are going to skip over Alex Maggs and go back to Lauren Bird. Lauren Bird Team River Runner has got that little camo patch on the right to represent her service experience in the Army. Oh, she might catch a flush on this. She's got to get over to the left. Can she get over there? She's looking a little bit better. She catches it, and she is on the feature. Lauren Bird catching this feature. This is one of her major goals right here, just to start her surfs. She's going to spin around. Look at that. Very calm. Learning how to whitewater kayak here after being in the service, after a traumatic experience. This is what brings her solace. And look at the smile on her face. This is what we want in our community, ladies and gentlemen. There's the shove it. She gets a shove it. She should get 5 points for that right on the board. She is on the board. She has scored points. Lauren Bird of the U.S. represented her nation here in her home spot as she pulls that spin. She's got to get that bow upstream, and there it is. It's supposed to be one fluid motion. We'll see if they score the spin. Look like they're not. She's going to go in for get that again. And oh, she has got to get that bow upstream. There it is. There's the spin. That should score. She's going to go in one more time. There's the shove it to the left. She is putting points on the board. She now should have 20 points on the buzzer. Lauren Bird, look at that smile. She is just having a great time out here. What a wonderful story. Getting to come right in front of her home crowd. She and the Hargroves making this community whitewater paddling great, all part of Whitewater Express as well, bringing this competition here. If you get down here to Rush South, go check out Whitewater Express. 15 points official on the board for her. As we then move into the next paddler, Audie Robinson-Shaw. Audie's sitting with 41 points. Definitely not what she wants. She is going to come down here and put down a lot more points to qualify in. And actually, I'm not quite sure how often Audie trains on a wave. She is a phenomenal hull boater, but waves are sort of a thing that you don't get on much. That Nottingham has some waves. They don't have a wave this big. Not too many places do, but now we're going to see Audie come down. She's going to get established, and now coming in. There's that nice blunt to the left, putting air under it. That one score alone is going to put her up above her existing score. Going to back blunt to her right, putting air under it. Oh, she has to paddle, 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 and she cannot maintain. Oh, unfortunate flush. She's just got catching those bubbles, and I think maybe it's just a little bit of morning nerves. I suspect we'll come back and see a much higher score here shortly. 103 points combined with that 41 is going to give her basically 150 points. That will be enough to qualify her in at the moment. And that might even be enough to make her safe, given that Abby Holcomb has already qualified up into the 5th place spot. So after this run, we will know, and there we'll see it now. Audie Robinson-Shaw, 121 points, puts her into 10th place, so she will qualify through. It's just a matter of, can she get herself up into that top heat where she really wants to be. Right now, sitting in the 5th place spot is Abby Holcomb. Abby's going to come down and establish here for her second run. She will improve her score with this. Currently sitting with the 315 points, roundhouse and around there. A few points on the board straight away. Not completing that roundhouse there. And there's that roundhouse to the right, getting up on the bubble spot, managed to maintain nicely. There's the blunt to the left, putting air under the boat. Back blunt to the right, putting air under the boat, possibly. It's really hard to tell with this foam. She's going to back it up, just spin around to the left, backing it back up. There's that back blunt to the right. Oh, she's going to flush on this one, however. 243 points. Showing, we'll see where this settles out with a 200-point ride. This will put Abby up into the 3rd place spot, or she's threatening 3rd place right now. We'll see where this comes out. Her first ride score of 315 plus 246 would be roughly in the, oh, there we go, 250. Now we're looking roughly in the 560 range. Hitomi's sitting at 535. Until that score goes green, however, it still is unknown. And there we go. Abby Holcomb, 565 combined. That will put her into the 3rd place spot. So she has moved up the leaderboard into a much more comfortable spot as we come back around to third rides here at the World Cup number 2. This is the last round of women's qualifiers. 11:15 local time, we will run into women's kayak junior preliminary. There are 5 paddlers in this class. Neve Mackin of Great Britain, McKinley Kate Hargrove, local here from the United States, Sophie Gilfillan of Canada, Eleanor Knight of the U.S., and Chloe Spears of the U.S. McKinley Kate taking gold in the first of the World Cups. We will see if she can keep that streak going. Eleanor, of course, joined us earlier on the live stream, helping us out here. It's been a wonderful morning. We had a really early start. And it was a real fun time. We're going to roll through today with the Seaboat class. We're going to have... So we're going to see the Seaboat class here. And in between, I'm going to get an interview with one of the women's paddlers. But right now, we're just doing a little bit of a break as we go in between. And we're going to go right back to the top with Lauren's third ride. They will each have 2 rides more. Audie Robinson-Shaw currently sitting in a qualifying spot. She is safe in that position. However, it is not a spot she wants to be in, and it's a spot she can absolutely move out of. She just has to bring a really high, powerful last 2 rides, and she will move herself into those top 5 as we wait to run it back up. And again, this time we open up, these time slots are planned for 5 paddler heats. We only have 3 in this, so we allow extra time. These paddlers have to paddle all the way around the island, this wave shaper island, get out, get back in their boat, get back in the water, and we give them plenty of time to do that. Here we go, Lauren Bird. She flushed on her first ride, and this second ride she got down on the feature. This one, it looks like she is going to flush off as well. She's getting that when that bow drops, it's unfortunately going to push you downstream a lot more than you would like, and so it takes just a bit of time to get reestablished. But again, she came in through a 15-point ride earlier, smiling the entire time, and that is just a good spot for her to be in, being able to throw points on the board here in this second World Cup. She did compete in the first World Cup as well, up at Ambush. And if you get a chance, if you are down here, get a chance to talk to her. She is wearing bib number 79. Ask her about her story. Ask her about Team River Runner. It's a pretty fascinating story. A true tragedy and recovery story of human perseverance. So, coming up now, Audie Robinson-Shaw right now. 41 point, 80 point combined for 121 into a qualifying spot. Audie will be looking to put down a much larger ride for these last 2. She's a paddler that it doesn't matter if she's safe. She is a competitor. She will compete to the very end. She is going to come out and throw points on the board every single time. This is how these competitors maintain top form, and it's really a treat to watch them. All right, here we go. Audie Robinson-Shaw coming down onto the feature. Popping into that foam pile. Getting set up for this first pass. We call them passes because they basically have to run down, get that pop, and get around. Beautiful back blunt to the right. Putting points right down big. They gave her a back Pan Am for that. She got that boat over vertical. So she is laying down much better points now. There's that blunt to the left, putting air into the boat as well. This is the ride she is needing to get herself up into that top 5. As she's hunting around, plenty of time left. The clock is not showing on the screen. I guarantee you they are keeping time. There's 10 seconds left. So she is almost finished with her ride here. 213 points showing. Catches a pearl on the bow. Squirts out, but 213. Time just expired. We didn't see it on the screen there, but she put down a much, much better ride. This is the kind of ride she can show. watch these huge moves. That is definitely over vertical. That was that back Pan Am they gave her. Really bring that boat over the top of her body. And there we go. Audie Robinson-Shaw doing a much better job that time around. It moves her into 6th place. One more good ride, and she can bump into the top 5. Right now, the vulnerable person in the top 5 is Anna Bruno. If Audie Robinson-Shaw puts on a good performance, she'll bump Anna Bruno down into that bottom heat, or the first heat to go in semis tomorrow morning. Next up, Abby Holcomb coming down here, establishing her ride. Abby's doing a nice blunt to the left, back blunt to the right, putting air into the boat on that first one. I've not seen Abby practice on this feature at all, so I'm not sure if she's got the helix in her bag or if she has the air screws. Hopefully we'll see if she's happy with these rides. She throws some maybe more challenging stuff that she's working on to give us a taste of what we might expect to see in semifinals. She is taking her time to set up here as she pops into it. Just a right roundhouse. Back roundhouse there, putting air into the boat. She's got just a few seconds left. Can she bring something big? Just maybe popping for that left blunt. And Abby surfs right off the wave. I think we're going to have to teach Abby that she doesn't have to surf off the wave. She's got practice time after that ride. She can throw something there. She can try to throw that huge Pan Am. Doesn't matter if she flushes then. All right, so while we wait for that score to settle, this 233 points probably will not increase Abby. She's putting it against a 250-point ride. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I am joined by current second place holder Darby McAdams. Darby, we just saw Abby go. She's still about 100 points off of your ride. I don't think she's threatening you yet, but this feature out here, as we watch these paddlers go, when you're on this feature, what's in your mind on setting up that left side, that center side, that right side?
I go for the center side to set up. I think I'm a little bit wary of the shoulders because those are where you see people flush the most, and if you're out of the feature, you're not scoring points. So
that's right. And in your rides, I believe we did see you try to throw the helix left and right. I think you scored both of those.
only one side.
You think you only got one side?
I can only do it one side.
Oh, you only do it one side. All right. And do you have a favorite trick? Do you have a trick that you'd like to throw like first, or do you save it for last because you know you can land it, or how does that work?
My left ones are really consistent. My favorite trick's to throw a big left clean blunt on a nice green wave.
Awesome, awesome. And then do you throw that straight out of the way, just get it out of the way, or do you save that for last, trying to maybe throw stuff because you're afraid of flushing?
No, my strategy is just to throw that left blunt on that first pass coming down the wave, because if you miss the first pass, you waste a lot of time. And this wave in particular is really hard to set up on, I find. So you end up getting stuck at the bottom of the pile, and it's difficult to get set back up if you don't make the first pass. So my goal is to just throw that left blunt because I know I can do it, first pass, and then go for a back blunt from there.
Gotcha. And you do have that. You do have a carbon boat, I believe.
I do.
So that's real classic on these big waves. Are you one of the ones? You prefer the waves? You like those big, heavy waves, or you kind of like the whole moves better? So
No, I don't whole boat.
You don't whole boat at all?
No.
All about the big waves.
Yeah, I mean, this to me is hardly a wave. It's like a big, medium-sized chunky hole. So
medium-sized chunky hole.
Yeah, it's a struggle. It's definitely different than features I'm used to paddling, but it's a good challenge.
All right. That's Darby McAdams, ladies and gentlemen. She's currently sitting in second place, and she's looking to go into semifinals, no problem. Hopefully we see her in finals. Thank you very much, Darby.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Ojo.
Thank you. All right, here we go. We are now looking for Lauren's third and final ride here. Oh, she's ferrying out much better this time. Look at those powerful strokes. This should not be any problem for her to catch this wave. She is settling into her routine nicely, nice and calm as she hunts around that first spin. There's a nice 10 points on the board. The crowd down there, guys, is really going nuts for her. She's just a delightful individual, having learned how to paddle recently. In this feature, there is a spin the other direction. And for her, this is just a great accomplishment, given that She would have never even thought about getting into whitewater like this. And the fact that something so big, something so powerful, something so challenging acts as a sort of therapy, an absolute therapy, is just a wonderful thing to see as we watch Lauren retain the feature the entire ride. Look at that. She goes for a little flip at the end. She's going to make her roll, no problem. This is her hometown feature. That is Lauren Bird from the U.S. representing, and she is out here for the United States, and it's great. And she is finished up her ride here. And now we will look to Audie Robinson-Shaw of Great Britain. Audie right now currently sitting in, I believe, the 6th place spot. And with this ride, she can bump up because her first 2 rides, 41 points, 80 points, not a lot of points. All she has to do right now to bump into that spot is bring a less than 200 point ride. It looks like about a 120 point ride, and she will absolutely qualify into the top heat. And we're looking for her to jump as high as she possibly can, taking her into the semifinal round. Safe, but not content. Audie Robinson-Shaw. Okay, gonna back it up. Looks like she's going, just setting up over into the center. Looks like she really wants a back move first, going for that back blunt to the right. Looks like they're giving her the back roundhouse with air, or just the back roundhouse, excuse me. She's going to back this up. Already 100 points. So she's 20 points away from where she needs to be into that top heat. Big back Pan Am. We'll see this score go up. There we go. Into the air screw. We haven't seen her try that yet, and she retains nicely. Here is a much better ride. Looking for the helix. That flatted out. She didn't get the aerial spin on that. I'm not sure what they're going to give her, as she is now pulling 333 points with that air screw. And this is it. So 300 points plus 200 points. This is actually going to threaten now to bump Abby Holcomb out of the 3rd place spot. We will have to see Abby's score 565. It's going to be 213 plus this score. Audie's score 546. She cannot do it. She's going to sit in 4th place. This is going to be the position she'll sit in now. Abby Holcomb still has a chance, however, to come and raise her standings out of 3rd place. So there is one paddler left to go. Right now, I can tell you, Emily Jackson, Darby McAdams, Abby Holcomb, Audie Robinson-Shaw, and Hitomi Takaku will all be going in the 2nd heat tomorrow. But their order is going to be determined by this ride right here. Can Abby get into that 2nd place spot? Can she even get into the 1st? Beautiful blunt with air to the left there. She is already setting up a ride that will put more points on the board. A little bit of a back roundhouse, catching a flip. Can she retain? She can't. She's just going to keep that ride. That is it. She's going to hold in 3rd place. We have now Abby Holcomb sitting in the 3rd place spot. This is going to round out our women's qualifiers. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have down in the 10th place spot, Zosha Tula of Poland qualifying. Courtney Kieran in the 9th place spot. Miki Sato in the 8th place spot, Heidi Walsh in 7th, and Anna Bruno being knocked down to the 6th place spot by Audie Robinson-Shaw with her last ride. They will go first tomorrow in the women's semis. Then in 5th place, Hitomi Takaku, Audie Robinson-Shaw, Abby Holcomb, Darby McAdams, and Emily Jackson. You will see those standings here on your screen shortly. That is the conclusion of our women's semifinal round, or qualifying round. What an exciting women's semifinals. 10 women will go tomorrow. You are watching World Cup #2 here in Columbus, Georgia, on the Chattahoochee River. Good wave feature on Wave Shaper Island. That's just a lot of words. So thank you for joining us. There they are, your 10 spot qualifiers going on to tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We will begin with women's junior preliminaries in 15 minutes, 11:15 local time. It is roughly 11 o'clock. Thank you for joining us, and stick around.
Neve in the feature. Sorry guys, Anna Bruno here for the junior women's preliminary round. I had the wrong headset on there for a minute, so you might not have heard me talking, which, you know, honestly is probably not the world's biggest loss. So we are here at the junior women's preliminary round. We've just seen our first paddler, Neve Mackin, take her first ride in the feature. Neve scoring some strong points to start things off. I'm joined here by Jake Bosworth of the UK. So thank you for being with us. We've got 4 more paddlers here in this preliminary round. Each paddler will get 4 rides. So these women junior women, kind of have a nice, easy entry into Good Wave, because 5 of them, which means they will all be progressing into the finals, yet this round will rank them and determine the order in which they go. So those finals will be taking place tomorrow, but right now we can just enjoy that replay of Neve. It looks like she almost tried to go for a blunt McNasty. Next up, local hero, McKinley Kate Hargrove, one of the Hargrove family here. McKinley Kate looking to show off her home feature and her comfort here on Good Wave. Starting things off strongly with a blunt, going for a blunt the other direction, moving right around, edge to edge, surfing around as she looks to earn her way into the top spot for today, getting a spin on the board. McKinley Kate taking a gold medal earlier this week in the Ambush World Cup. Oh my God, that may have been a back Pan Am. We'll see if the judges choose to reward that. That was a huge ride for McKinley Kate. And then unfortunately catching the edge, going for a little bit of a tumble in Good Wave there, taking control, finishing it off with a back blunt right in the foam. This is a fantastic ride for McKinley Kate Hargrove. With a big trick right on the buzzer, but unfortunately not quite landing that in control.
Yeah, that's a big first ride there for McKinley Kate. As Anna says, no stranger to this wave here. She spent a long time living on the wintering grounds in a trailer just over the river from this side here. She's throwing down some massive moves there.
Yeah, McKinley Kate actually calling Phoenix City, Alabama, just upstream here, full-time home, and training almost every day with brother Mason. So she might have the most wave time of almost any competitor here at this competition. And it shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that, nice blunt, trying to get her boat nice and vertical. She wants to be at the top of the leaderboard going into the final tomorrow.
Absolutely. So now from Canada, we've got Sophie. She's dropping in with her carbon Jackson Rockstar here onto Good Wave.
That's right. Sophie, a student at World Class Kayak Academy, also a member of the Canadian Junior Slalom team. Oh, an unfortunate flush for Sophie. She is a very talented and well-rounded paddler, and I know that she's got many friends and supporters here in the community that were just, it's so gutting when you just catch that bubble, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And on this wave in particular, I've noticed a lot of these carbon boats that are really staying really sharp on the surface and bouncing around on there because they're so stiff, are often getting shot straight down the pile and off to the sides of the wave, which is flushing some paddlers. It seems to be some of the plastic boaters that are managing to keep a little bit more control and slow that boat down on the wave.
Yeah, it's right. You know, there's definitely the advantage to paddling carbon in that it is more responsive, and it's a bit stiffer of a material. You don't get quite as much energy lost in the transfer of your edges, but it also moves a bit slower and can be a bit more forgiving on a wave like Good Wave. So it's all right. Sophie's got 4 rides here in this preliminary round. Still plenty of time to put points on the board.
Yeah, so as this feature is classed as unattainable, which means as soon as you flush off the wave, there is no way you are going to make it back on. That means we have 4 rides with the best 2 combined counting, instead of what we saw on Ambush, which was 2 rides.
That both count.
That both count, exactly, because you could paddle back up the eddies and make it back onto the wave.
Yeah, that's right. Each category or each format of competition has slightly different rules. But now, in her preliminary ride, Eleanor Knight out of Seattle, Washington, US of A. Eleanor, a junior in high school. Her dad, Christian Knight, also out here paddling with her, is a big-time paddler. And Eleanor only got into competitive paddling about a year ago. She came out to the US Freestyle team trials and just decided, I really like this. Made the US team, competed in Nottingham, England, and she is just a talented athlete and really hardworking. So points on the board for Eleanor's first ride. So starting things off with a roundhouse there, looking to spin it around. So she'll be looking to better that score but still a good place to be sitting on your first ride.
Yeah, absolutely. The first things first, on your first ride, you just want to see some points get on the board. Ideally, yeah, you want to throw your biggest ride, but as we've seen through this good wave competition, a lot of paddlers are dropping in and they're flushing straight through without getting anything on the board. So the more time you can spend on this wave, throwing move after move, the points are going to rack up and up and up. And I'm sure that's what Chloe Spears is going to want to see now.
Absolutely. So Chloe Spears also living locally here in Columbus, Georgia, a recent transplant from Texas. I know Mom Jenny Spears and stepdad Joe Ball are out there cheering her on shore. And Jenny surprising herself and taking, I believe, a bronze medal in ambush earlier this week. She wasn't sure if she wanted to compete in good wave because she says it's fun, but it's also kind of scary. I was like, Chloe, you're not alone. That's about how everybody feels out there. So Chloe looking to spin things around, maybe get a roundhouse, working to get points on the board and stay in control. It looks like she's trying to set up for a back blend. Look at that bounce. Oh, you can tell these lighter paddlers do have to work to stay in control on this feature. You know, even the best of the best we've seen kind of struggle.
Oh yeah, this is a big bouncy wave. It's got a big foam pile, and it's sometimes it's got some lines that are cutting through the middle of the green water that can throw you off. I know it's tried to plug me in for a loop a good few times as well.
I did some cartwheels earlier this morning myself.
Nice.
Yeah. But you can see you've got that green shoulder on surfer's left, a green shoulder on surfer's right, and a pretty big foam pit in the middle. Yeah, so it's hectic out there. You know, even Emily Jackson, one of the best paddlers in the world, sitting currently on the top of the women's leaderboard, had a flush through ride earlier today. Audie Robinson-Shaw had some rides where she flushed early. So it does happen even to the best of the best, and you know, we're seeing that across categories. That's the fun, though, isn't it, Jake?
It's all part of the competition, exactly. Especially a feature like this. It's not a, you know, compared to what we saw in Nottingham in the summer. It's not a hole that you can paddle back into. This is a big river wave that is standing way higher than some of these paddlers.
Most of these paddlers,
I would say everyone, with a massive green face on it, a lot of bounce. It's so exciting to watch. And I think it's exciting for the paddlers to be able to compete on a feature like this as well. It's probably not been like this since minibus.
Yeah, I think actually Garburator back in 2015.
Oh, God, yeah.
So Chloe Spears, 61.67, putting her into the second place position. That is fantastic. So next up, Niamh Mackin of Great Britain. So Niamh more used to those technical features of the Nottingham HPP Whitewater course, but showing that she is able to transition those skills nicely as she takes this carbon boat and starts surfing around here on good wave. Starting things off with a spin, and looks like she's looking to set up her next trick. Trying for that roundhouse, having a hard time getting to switch edge to edge. There it is, maybe even getting a blunt out of that. Again, should get that differentiation between the blunt and the roundhouse. You have to get your stern angle higher than 45 degrees relative to the wave. Harder said than done sometimes. Beautiful roundhouse there. Spinning it around, and that is time. You know, I think it can be challenging for these paddlers to remember, did I go left? Did I go right? Did that count? Where am I in my ride? What's happening? Like, that foam is kind of all-encompassing, isn't it? It's hard to keep track of your ride plan sometimes.
Yeah, it's very disorientating on there. I know I was repeating tricks lots of times. I've watched loads of people throughout this competition keep repeating tricks to the same side. It's paddling a big feature like this also has a factor of a slight sort of survival factor to it as well, where you still want to stay upright and you still want to stay on the wave and you don't want to wipe out.
You do not want to wipe out. McKinley Kate of Phoenix City, Alabama, dropping in for ride number 2, already with a strong lead here and showing what she is capable of. So she's going to be looking to start things off with some nice vertical and aerial tricks, starting to spin it around, getting herself set up, working back over to that surfer's right shoulder. Going to drop that edge, standing it up nicely for the blunt, right into a back blunt. Excellent mastery of the wave, using each trick to set up the next. Strong start to her ride from McKinley Kate. Maybe getting a back roundhouse there. Maybe a roundhouse to the left. Again, you can see her struggling to get the release in the foam.
Yeah, that's right. To score these wave moves, you have to get out onto the green face to throw the move. Otherwise, they will not score if they're back in the pile. That was a huge
blunt. We'll see if that actually stuck in control enough to score. I hope it did, because that was a beautiful trick. You know, McKinley Kate looking to dominate here at this World Cup, looking to also, I think, get some practice in for the World Championships, which will be taking place here next year.
That's right. So this format has seen a World Cup 1 up on Ambush further upstream, and then World Cup 2 here on Good Wave. The World Championships of 2023 in Columbus are going to be here on Good Wave.
That is right, and that is exciting. So for a lot of these athletes, this is a chance to practice, to come check out the feature, see what we've got. So young Sophie out of Canada, living up near the Ottawa River, a recent transplant from the city, full-time world-class academy student, member of the Canadian Junior National Slalom team, as well as the freestyle team, and talented river runner, so she's going to be looking to show off her skills. I've seen this young lady put down some big rides on carburetor on her home river. Oh my goodness, that is taking a beating. But still, points on the board.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking at around 31.67 at the moment. It's going up until that number on the bottom left hand of your screen goes green. That score can move around, and that's down to the judges. They will take a second look at angles and confer between themselves.
Yeah, and you know, they're all judging live, aren't they, right? There isn't video review. They just have to go off of what they saw, what they remembered in that moment.
That's
and
right.
Whatever we call, we're sitting at a different angle from the judges. Our cameras are slightly different, so the judges do retain the final call. So Sophie, 35 points on the board. Again, preliminary round, 4 rides, 2 count, as you said, non-attainable feature. And so all of these women are fighting for where they will be seated in the finals, in which they'll get 3 rides of the best single score counts.
That's right. So now we've got Eleanor Knight coming in from the USA. Just dropping into the wave, spotting it behind her, making sure she's in the right spot, and setting up nicely into a front surf. That's the first things first, is make sure you catch that wave. You do not want to push straight through.
It is important. Yeah. And it's easy to do, honestly. So Eleanor taking her time establishing that surf, looking for a roundhouse. Maybe getting a shove it. On that, maybe a spin as the score starts to blink. An unfortunate early flush for Eleanor.
Yeah, so there's some easier, what we would class as easier moves on these waves to do, which score lower scoring points. So a spin is a 360-degree spin in one fluid motion. On the wave, that's with no angles on it, it's nice and flat, and that will score you 10 points. There's also a shove it, which is more like a half a spin, so you have to rotate the boat 180 degrees and then back again another 180 degrees from where it started. And that's called a shove it, and that will get you 5 points.
Yeah, we did not come up with these names, to be clear, but they are officially on the score sheet. So next up, Chloe Spears out of Columbus, Georgia. Chloe bouncing around, looking to set up. I see a big smile on her face there as she looks to find that first trick, going for a roundhouse. So seeing what happens, the boat must rotate around the bow of the boat for the roundhouse to be considered a roundhouse, and the judges have been tight on these moves. Oh, going for a back roundhouse. Beautiful control as she spins the boat around, going right edge to edge. She's going to go and maybe repeat that trick, spinning it around, trying to bring that boat that full 360. You know, I will say Chloe having the advantage of living locally here, because the water on the Chattahoochee River is dam released, and because there was the ambush competition earlier this week, many paddlers have had very limited training time on Good Wave on these flows. So for some paddlers, they've only gotten 1, 2, 3 rides before their competition rides.
That's right, Anna. I don't know how much time you got. You only turned up here a few days ago. I'm pretty sure we saw each other in France about
well, not even
5
a week
days
ago.
Yeah.
That's right. International competition, international travel here.
Exactly.
It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think over 98 paddlers here competing in this event. 16 different nationalities represented, and I don't think that accounts for the various countries people have flown in from to be here,
Yeah.
as we can both attest to.
Okay, Neve Macken from Nottingham, UK, dropping into the feature for her third ride. Big blunt to the right there.
That was a huge
what a big
roundhouse,
wipeout.
catching an edge.
She's still in the feature.
And there you go. That is the advantage of being retentive. spinning it around. Every point counts. Oh my goodness, end over end, showing that whole boating experience as she retains the feature and her composure, goes right into the next trick and tries for the blunt McNasty. That was amazing. I wouldn't have said that was intentional, except that she's tried it on every ride, and I know that she can do that move, and she is going for it.
Yeah, Neve was trying to throw that move down up at ambush. She's got it a few times in training, but then I'm not sure about here on Good Wave. But Neve she has openly said she's very all or nothing about this. She is going for gold. There's no doubt about it, and she knows to challenge McKinley-Kate, she's got to throw these massive moves.
That was a huge air blunt or roundhouse from Neve, and then following it up with a face surf window shade right after that with a blunt McNasty. So with that ride score, which is still being finalized, she will take over the second place position. So 155.00, that should combine with her her first ride score 56 for 211.67. So solid ride for Neve, and still one more to go. You know, you can see that paddlers kind of taking their first ride as a warm-up, finding their flow, settling in, and hopefully each ride will get better. McKinley-Kate, the lady in pink, dropping in, going for a clean blunt. Haven't seen many of those yet. That was awesome. See if they... Looks like the judges did reward that score. Maybe trying for a back Pan Am. Going for a blunt the other direction, just really not wasting a pass as she bounces trick to trick to trick. So 3 big moves from McKinley-Kate. And even though she didn't stay on the wave the whole time, she certainly made her time on the wave count. So that score is still going up as the judges calculate the bonuses. Maybe getting the clean on that first blunt. You can see her looking over to Brother Mason. Did it count? Did I do it? Checking out for the coaching on shore.
Yeah, that's a big ride there for McKinley-Kate.
Really impressive. Look at that as that back blunt goes over vertical and getting that air on it too.
I really love that clean blunt that she opened up with. It's one of my favorite moves out there. It looks wonderful when it's executed perfectly, and that was a really nice example there from McKinley-Kate.
Yeah, you could see her shoving her paddle in the foam to save that rotation as she came around to stabilize, but initiating the trick clean. And that was just a big move that we haven't seen a lot of in this competition because, you know, I'll be honest, they're kind of a terrifying trick to throw here at Good Wave. So you can tell just that she is comfortable with that move. She's comfortable with this wave, and she is looking to show off. You know, McKinley-Kate putting down a massive ride in Nottingham at the World Cup, the World Championship this past July. I believe almost a 700-point ride, maybe higher. Someone's going to have to check my numbers on that, please. But I think in earning herself a medal there, and so I know that she is looking to repeat that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like she's well on track so far, but of course this is only the prelims.
It is only the prelims.
Everything can change.
But yeah, but still showing some nice consistency in her rides so far. You know, I think McKinley-Kate and the Hargrove family kind of adopting or embracing that live in a van by the river lifestyle, as you were saying, and you know, with Mom Melissa homeschooling them, they've really been able to travel the USA, travel the world, and spend so much time in their boats this past year. But another one doing just that with World Class Academy, Sophie Gilfillan. Mom Fiona and Dad Jeff, I'm sure watching from home right now, cheering her on from Canada as she goes to drop in for her 3rd ride of 4. So Sophie looking to start things off with a big trick. I'm sure get some points on the board, going for a roundhouse. Backing it up, trying for that back blunt, and unfortunately catching that edge. Oof. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, when you finish these moves, you want to be just dropping right nicely into that pile in the middle. If you start to drop a lot of your boat into the green water, it's going to catch and it's going to flush you through quickly. It's going to try and flip you over, back loop you. It's not going to be nice, and it is going to be a lot harder to retain this feature.
It is. And you know, I want to say that a lot of really talented paddlers, right, do struggle to adapt to a new feature and also to put their ride together in just 45 seconds that you have for competition format, right? I've seen Sophie throw some massive tricks on her home features on the Ottawa, but not having had a ton of training time here, maybe not having a ton of competitive experience, it is really hard to keep that composure and find your best tricks or put together your best rides exactly every time you need to. But now, oh, did Eleanor Knight just throw a loop?
She did just throw an entry front loop. I'm not sure if it was intentional. It was still pretty cool. Unfortunately, just flushing off the back of the wave there for that one.
Yeah. I hope we get the replay of that. Let's see what happens here. Eleanor with the USA flag on the back of her helmet, representing Team USA. Oh my goodness. Showing off those hours spent training for Nottingham Worlds with that beautiful loop, unfortunately just flushing off the feature. Oh, it's just, it's that moment, right, where you're like, am I going to catch the wave? Where am I going to catch the wave? Am I in control?
Well, that's it, like you say, Anna, with trying to put together a 45-second ride on a wave like this. Typically, when surfing bigger waves like this, we'll sit in a front surf for quite some time whilst we wait to get to the back of the pile and get the biggest pass that we can to throw the biggest possible moves that we can. Whereas in a competition format like this, where you've only got 45 seconds, there really isn't time to be shuffling around the wave and setting up. You need to just be throwing and throwing and throwing as fast as you can in order to get those tricks on the board, especially if you watch someone such as Nick Troutman or Dane Jackson. They are throwing a move on almost every single pass.
It's absolutely remarkable. Like, they can just make the trick happen from almost anywhere on the wave, and it is a talent. That's next up, though, young Chloe Spears out of Columbus, Georgia, surfing around in her, I think what's only really her second or third ever kayak competition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just absolutely crushing it out there. So
she's doing amazing. She's having fun as well. That's the big thing about World Cups, is the pressure's off compared to a World Championships a little bit. It's a bit more fun. You can play around with your rides.
You can kind of feel out your feature, have a good time. Lots of the athletes are actually jumping on the live stream like us here, helping out with judging or doing other volunteering to make this event happen. So it's a much more relaxed atmosphere and lots of fun. It looked like Chloe was almost going for an air screw there, didn't it? Yeah. She works to control her boat. She's still got one more second. Will she get a trick on the road? Still, Chloe showing control of the wave and earning points on every ride of her 3 rides so far. So really showcasing her home skills here. I was here last winter, and I think we were really working to convince Chloe to even surf out on good wave. So what progress in just such short time.
Absolutely. Chloe spent all 45 seconds of her ride there, not on the wave, which is an achievement on its own. It's a rowdy place to be for 45 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think I managed that in my rides. But yeah, look at that. The sun is starting to come out here on the Chattahoochee River, running between Phoenix City, Alabama, which I did call Phoenixville yesterday, so I do apologize to the city of Phoenix City, and Columbus, Georgia. But right now, Neve Mackin starting things off with run 4 in this junior women preliminary round. So Neve showing great composure, and I believe what's a new boat from what she was paddling in England.
Yeah, Neve's had that recently. And it's got a beautiful graphic design on the bottom as well, on that Gigi Pro.
It looks so colorful. Hopefully she'll show it off with some vertical tricks here in just a minute. We saw her get a huge roundhouse or blunt in her last ride, so we know that she is looking, as you said, to go all or nothing, I believe it was.
I believe so.
Yeah. Neve in that dangerous corner. That was a huge air blunt from Neve. Absolutely legitimate. Fantastic first trick.
That was huge.
That was huge. Really showing her the aggression and the power and the reward that comes out of that. You have to be firm with this wave.
Absolutely.
You have to tell it who's boss.
It's taming the beast, as I've called it so far.
That's incredibly accurate. Neve, she looks to repeat that blunt with her maybe to a roundhouse to the same direction. Spinning it around, and a great ride for Neve Mackin.
Yeah, I think she might have just been looking for that blunt McNasty again there, by the way she was dropping her left paddle blade. But that's 131.67 points on the board so far. And that's gone green straight away, so the judges are happy. That's a big ride. Look at the size of that air blunt.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, imagine if she'd gotten the McNasty off of that. You could see her almost pulling for the stroke. But that should put Neve, or keep her comfortably in second place. So right now, McKinley Kate Hargrove, I can hear the crowd cheering. McKinley Kate's siblings, the many people that she's helped teach to kayak, encourages to kayak out here in Columbus, Georgia. Kinley Kate showing off these hours spent practicing on good wave. Going with a big back blunt, maybe a back Pan Am on that. Nice over vertical trick. Smiling as she misses the pash. But now she's just out here having fun, going for a back blunt the other direction. Carving it around. Just really strong, consistent rides from McKinley Kate. Trying for that clean blunt. Not quite getting the rotation on that one. But still, you could see those pinkies just ping, go up.
That shows ultimate control, doesn't it? So just to take some fingers off your paddle shaft on a wave like this.
Yeah.
She's confident.
It's true. I call that the Wingardium Leviosa. A little Harry Potter reference for those of you that are less dorky than I am. But
I got it. Don't worry.
You've got to tell your boat where it's supposed to go. Yeah. So McKinley Kate sitting comfortably in first place with a combined ride score of 615 points. You can see not quite getting the rotation on that, not quite getting the boat that 180 degrees from forward to backwards, but still.
Sophie looking like she means business, paddling hard out of that eddy. Here, she's going to come in hot. Let's see.
This is Sophie's fourth ride, and she really wants to show what she's capable of. She knows that she's already into the finals. She knows she's got 3 more rides, but she wants to work her way into one of those top 3 positions. So starting things off, looking for a back roundhouse, getting a roundhouse to the left. Already a better ride for Sophie. You can see her starting to kind of slow down a little bit, catch her breath, maybe get a little bit more comfortable. She spins it around. Oh, catches that danger zone. She's going to have to work her way back towards the more stable area before throwing that next trick, which takes valuable time. Using that setup to a nice back blunt. Let's see what she's got for us here with 1 second left on the clock. And that should be enough to move Sophie into that top 3 position. So we can see her score. Oh, taking a bonus trick just for the fun of it, as you should.
Yeah, why not? If you've got time. Well, you can't just surf out, right?
I mean, you could.
I did. I didn't have any airlift.
Yeah, so it depends. It's hard to keep the fitness for these competitive freestyle events, isn't it? They really do take it out of you.
Yeah.
You feel like absolutely ridiculous. You're like, why am I so tired? I only surfed for 30 seconds. But you are going full energy, full in, everything in, because you just want to make those 30 seconds or that 45 seconds absolutely count. Look at that beautiful back blunt from Sophie on that replay. So Eleanor Knight currently sitting in 5th. She'll be trying to use this 4th run to boost her position. So Eleanor, just a fiercely competitive and really hardworking individual, and she's just out here wanting to do her best. And so she's hard on herself. Oh no, an unfortunate flush off for Eleanor. So I know that will be disappointing, but she still has 3 more rides.
That's right. Next part of the competition is the semi-finals for these junior women, and that will be 3 rides, 2 count.
They'll go right into finals, I believe.
Oh, is it right to finals?
Yeah, there's only 5 of them, right?
Oh,
so if
yeah,
you need
sure.
over 10 competitors to cut to a semi-final, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely right, Anna. It's still too early today, I think.
Yeah. I haven't even had my coffee yet, so please correct me when I get things wrong, which will happen.
Okay, so Eleanor unfortunately not scoring any points on her 4th ride there, which she will be disappointed about. But she's got points on the board. She's got a combined score of 21.67, which will leave her in 5th place. But as Anna said, there is another opportunity to better that score.
So now I can hear the whistles blowing for hometown hero number 2, Chloe Spears, out of Columbus, Georgia. Only recently becoming comfortable enough with surfing on good wave to even consider competing on it, and out here in this World Cup event alongside some of her paddling heroes. That I just think is so cool. Starting things off beautifully with a roundhouse to the right, maybe even getting air on that. Showing some nice control and more comfort as she relaxes into this competition format. Spinning it around backwards, trying for a back roundhouse. Oh, almost pulling that off. That could have been huge.
Yeah, just unfortunately dropping and traveling across the feature into that surfer's left shoulder, which has been really quite brutal for some of these paddlers over the competition. It's quite an easy place to flush off the wave from. But if you get it right, it really rewards with a lot of air.
It does. I kind of prefer the surfer's right shoulder myself, but then it's also flirting with getting eaten by that curler. So there really is no safe zone on this wave. But,
no, absolutely not.
You know, massive thank you to Georgia Power for putting out the flows all week here for this World Cup and for stabilizing them, keeping them consistent throughout the day so that all competitors can have as even a playing field as possible. You know, we were chatting last night, and I don't know if you know this. There we go. Here's our ranking for our junior women. They'll be competing again tomorrow in their final. So they will be going in reverse order. So while I read this out, these paddlers will compete in reverse order tomorrow. And that was McKinley Kate Hargrove, Neve Mackin, Sophie Gilfillan, Chloe Spears, and Eleanor Knight. So we have a short break here, I believe, before the men's canoe deck surface. So there'll be C1 men up next, and that will be starting at 12:15. So you'll have Seth Chappelle of the United States, Dane Jackson of the USA, Harry Price of Great Britain, and Tom Dole of France. So that will be taking place here in half an hour. I'm Anna Bruno.
And I'm Jake Boswell.
Thanks for joining us.